Ghana Premier League as we are gradually turning the hands towards the end of time in terms of the Ghana Premier League for this season. It's match day 31, and this afternoon our concentration will be from the Swedru Sports Stadium, where 11 Wonders welcome Bechem United. It's a must-win game especially for Bechem, looking at the precarious situation they occupy on the league log. And we'll be telling you a lot more about the positions on the league table. This is just the beginning of action in match day 31, as other matches are lined up for Sunday, where we bring you the top liners as well. It's been a very, very competitive second round of the Ghana Premier League. And of course, all the teams are looking forward to a better performance and of course, a very good ending as far as the positions on the league table are concerned. Life at the top of the league table looks quite cagey and in a hanging balance, depending on the positions of the teams, especially we're taking a look at the first two who will be selling a good game to us on Sunday. And we are only hoping and praying that the good Lord will find all of us in good health, so we will be part of the official watching, as it were, of the game. But thank you very much for joining us, and thank you very much to our partners as well, who are also staying with us. 11 Wonders, it's not been a very good season for them. They're out of their league, as we all know. Even the last round of matches they've played has not brought any positivity to them. And so they're just bidding their time. And on match day 34, it will be a final goodbye from 11 Wonders. Hopefully, we'll be seeing some known faces in the team in other areas and other teams in other positions come 2026-2027 season, when the season gets underway. Today, I've been joined in the studio by Felix Romark, and together with Coach Sifa, they will be sharing their expertise, their insights into the match that we are about to show you. Very, very key game coming your way. Let's first of all start the program by taking a look at the fixtures. The fixtures that we have for this weekend, and we're starting right here live on Max TV, where 11 Wonders will play at home against Bechem United. Bechem have made the way from Bechem to Swedru, and that's where the match will be played. Vision FC stay at home, the Tema Stadium, or the Ni Ajay Kraku, the second park, where they will play Swedru All Blacks. And so it's a very, very tough game. One of the key games that we should gradually pay our attention to. And of course, it gives us a fair idea of what the Swedru All Blacks team have in store in terms of wanting to stay on in the Premiership. Then on Sunday will be the top liner, Mediama taking on BBNE Gold Stars. That match will kick off at 3 p.m. And do stay with us here on a Max TV, because we have that match coming your way live. Hohoe United, Bechem, Chelsea. That's the schedule for the lads from Bechem. Although we're also aware that Hohoe United have also given up on the continuation of the Ghana Premier League. Nations FC will stay at home. Their Brankase has almost always been a fortress for them. This time it will be against Accra Hearts of Oak, and we'll spare thought for that game as well. Take a look at how the visitors lay claim to 3 maximum points if they can. Samatex 1996, they will also be at home. Baseke Holy Stars will do the traveling, and Aboy will be the venue where Samatex are looking at plucking some golden points at home if they can. Young Apostles will go up north. Karela United will be awaiting. It's not been a very, very clear season for some of the teams, both sides included. But again, given the opportunity, they will almost always give off their best. Adriana will stay at home then and take on Heart of Lions. The lads from Kwando have made a long journey from Kwando to Doma, and we're hoping that, all things being equal, they will be ready to sell a good game to the Adriana fans. Just next door from us here at Max TV will be Dreams FC, and they will be taking on Asante Kotoko at the Tuba Astro Turf. That ground has been quite a happy hunting ground for Dreams FC. although I must also admit that they have succumbed to some pressure from some of the teams. But let's see how Asante Kotoko bounces back after parting ways with their head coach. Interim head coach will be leading the charges of Kotoko. Will Kotoko be ready to lift up their heads, or will they be ready to live up to the billing, as it were, as Dreams FC take control? Hamza and Winfred, two very good friends. Let's see how things spare on the field of a play. So these are the fixtures coming your way. Match day 31 or match week 31 fixtures coming your way. But prior to the matches coming up this weekend, we all know exactly what happened to the young man Dominic Frimpong, who was laid to rest a couple of days ago. And of course, it was a very, very sad, touching moment for the family of Dominic. The family includes Bechem Chelsea and, of course, Aduana Football Club, where he's plied his trade. Sad, sad story that had to happen after a hectic game. Team are on their way back to base, and then they are attacked by armed men. A stray bullet is fired, and Dominic Frimpong is at the receiving end. Once again, let me welcome the gentlemen in the studio. Thank you very much for your time. But let me zoom you straight to the funeral grounds. And Coach, it was a touching moment. The moment where the family, the fans, the players, everybody involved came together to ensure that they gave Dominic a fitting farewell.
Yeah, it was a very sad day. Not to the family of Dominic, but I think Ghana football. I mean, he's a young man, 20-year-old player. If you know him, a very good player.
He is.
Very good striker. And for me, I think that we've lost a gem. And may his soul rest in peace. And I also have to say, Nana Jimabedu has done very well. Bechem Chelsea have done very well. Ghana Football Association had a delegation led by Fred Achampong-Achi. And I think that they all did very well. But we're just calling on the Ghana Police Service to be able to help have a lot of patrol teams on our roads, especially from that areas. Because if you know Cape Coast very well, from Mankasim to Winneba, sometimes you have about 10 blocks of police barriers before you get to Winneba.
So, but why don't we have the same in other areas?
That is the problem. So for me, I think that we don't need to wait for such an incident to happen before. Probably we set up that parameters. But I think that it was a very sad day. And this is Samuel Bodu, the coach for Bechem Chelsea. I mean, they all went to mourn with the family, and I think that they really, really, really did well. But as to whether the police will go according to what they've told us, that henceforth when teams are traveling, police personnel, at least 2, will be in the team bus. Because I remember when we lost Polly, the Kotoko supporter who died, it came out that at every venue, supporters will be searched before they enter into the stadium. And I think it happened on 2 occasions. That is 2 weeks, and it never happened again. So I believe that we have to, the police will go according to what they've said. And we are also appealing to them and the government to be able to have those roads, very bad roads, to be able to attend to, so that when traveling on such roads, not only footballers, our fathers and mothers who trade alongside that areas will also have the kind of freedom and confidence to be on that road. May his soul rest in peace.
Bro, yeah, it's quite sad, you know. And if you look at how this happened, it's quite sad, and I felt lessons were not learned from what happened to Legon cities.
The same sport.
Yes, the same sport, and it's quite sad because I quite remember the Legon City issue. The FA said that teams should try as much as possible to rest, you know, after games. If you know you are traveling to a very far destination after games, and I think that for what has happened to Dominic Frimpong, it's quite sad that we've lost another Frimpong. You know, Poli was also Frimpong, and it happens to be through the Ghana Premier League, and it's something that we really need to have a serious discussion on. The FA must make it a must that that aspect of the regulation is, you know, obeyed and observed by clubs, because even if it wasn't death, we quite remember Kumasi Asante Kotoko played entire lives at the And then when they were driving late, it wasn't even armed robbers, because we live in a country where our road networks are very, very bad.
Yeah.
So even if you are not being attacked by armed robbers, you could fall into a dish. Anything can happen. And I think that I totally agree with Coach. We need to implement getting escort for our teams. If it is the district police where the teams are playing, if they can even escort them to a safer place for them to continue their journey, I think we should do that. But it's quite unfortunate. I fell in love with Dominic. I watched him play at Tudo Mighty Jet.
Okay.
And I knew this boy had talent. And then he went to Atram Divisa. Okay. In the FA Cup, he played in the Division 1 league for Atram. He scored about 7 goals in 29 matches. Then he went to Aduana. At Aduana, he only played 2 matches. And I quite remember I had a discussion with Atapok and was like, Charlie, this guy is good. But then if you look at the experience at Aduana, he told the team that I want to get playing time. So I would prefer to go to Bechem Chelsea and at least play. Sure, so Atapok even told him, whenever you go to Bechem Chelsea and you score a goal, just call me, I'll send you more. And there, Samuel Bodu believed in him. He played 11 games for them prior to this incident. So it's quite sad that you lose a very young boy like this. And if we don't take lessons from this death, and if we don't correct things and make things right, it'll surely be in vain. But condolences to the family, to the Bechem Chelsea, Aduana family, and may his soul rest in perfect peace.
Indeed, may his soul rest in peace, the families of Bechem Chelsea, Aduana, and of course, his immediate family. We doff our hats off to the Ghana Football Association for making a modest amount in terms of presentation to the family. But we can't finish talking about this without talking about the influence of Nana Dominic, who also made a personal presentation of 100,000 cedis to the family. In addition to what the GFA also gave, they gave 10,000 cedis to the family. So all in support of what the family had lost, what they had gone through. And I understand that Nana Dominic has instructed that the rest of his contract in terms of the monies due be sorted out and given to the family. And so we add our voices from Max TV. We say condolences to the family. We wish him a peaceful rest. May his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. All right. Okay, now with that out of the way, let's come to today's agenda. And as I said earlier on, it's 11 Wonders who will be taking on Bechem United. The league table clearly gives us a fair idea of the kind of positions these two clubs are occupying. You won't find any of them in the first 9 or in the first half of the table, which tells you that, again, it's not been a very good season, particularly for Bechem United, who occupy the 13th position with only 37 points amassed. And of course, for 11 Wonders, we all know the turmoil they've had to go through. Hence, we are not too shocked and surprised that they are lying at the bottom with only 10 points to their credit. But again, looking at the positions of these two teams, you clearly would understand why a team like Bechem United find themselves languishing in the bottom half of the table at this time of the season. We've had seasons where Bechem United have been part of the top 4, top 5, top 6, top 7, in recent times, and there was that stability in the club. Not too sure exactly what happened this time around, but again, we must also we may attribute it to the fact that yes, a few things have changed, coaches have changed, etc., etc. Players have come and gone, and so Bechem United may not be the Bechem United of yesterday that we know. But they are coming into this game with all guns blazing, knowing that the least they can do is to succumb to a draw, let alone a loss when they have to play against the bottom riders. And so they are coming into this game thick and fast. But one thing about 11 Wonders, and viewers, you agree with me, matches that we have shown about 11 Wonders is that they do have a team. They've got some quality players in there. Things are just not working for them. And I won't be too surprised if next season I see some of these young talents in the 11 Wonders team moving on to other teams and they'll still factor in the first division. So, top game coming this afternoon. I know that Bechem United on one side may think that, Charlie, NLS and what American work must say why. But it is not going to be that easy.
It is. It is not going to be because you look at 11 Wonders. They have nothing to lose. For the players, they are playing more like and justify your inclusions for potential suitors in the Ghana Premier League markets who intend to buy some of their players. Let me say this: I think that it is not as if they don't have good material. One of the major reasons why they are getting relegated is the fact that administratively the team hasn't been handled well. If they did handle things well administratively, for instance, moving the traditional club like 11 Wonders away from Techima, for me, I think it was one of the worst decisions they could ever make, and that is the reason why they are getting relegated. So for the players, it is for them to exhibit what they have and try and tell other Premier League clubs that they are still worthy of being, play in the Ghana Premier League. For Bechem United, Prince, I wish we could go back to the table. The most important thing now is not even the position on the league log. Okay. It is the point. It is the point. Because if you look at 16th, Bechem Chelsea would play Hoho United. They are guaranteed 3 points and 3 goals.
Sure.
And that will push them to 38. With a minus of 3 goals. And so they will move, definitely.
They will.
And it is important for Bechem United to win this game because I know probably you show their next remaining games because they are up against some of the teams that are struggling. So this is a game that they must do everything possible.
It puts pressure on them
to win. But I am not surprised at where they are. You spoke about in recent times. But in the last 2 seasons, they have finished both 10th on the league log. And it is because they've lost quite a number of players. This season, they've tried to bring in a very youthful amount of players into their team, keeping just a few of the experienced players. But I must say that key to them winning this game has to be Coach Sefer's good friend, Augustine Okra. If you look at the number of goals that he's even scored for the Hunters this season, it's quite impressive because he didn't even...
He's behind the top scorer by
yes, he didn't even start the season with them. And that tells you how crucial it is for them. And for them to go in and win this particular game. I'm sure that when we went on break after match week, this is actually match week 31. Match week 30 has been postponed. So I'm sure that after the postponement, they would have sat down and said, let's go through some of the matches that we think we can win to survive. And this, for me, will be one of the most important games. I'm going for them to win, but it won't be easy because nobody would have thought that 11 Wonders would have drawn with Samates. Nobody. And even the game that they got beaten by 5-1 against Dreams, they were the team that took the lead. So Bechem have to be very, very careful in the way they approach this particular one.
What is it with Bechem this season?
I think the Bechem lacked consistency in terms of their technical and of course the playing body itself. I mean, at a point you realize that they introduced new players, new faces, especially when they went to Samates to win that game. I think it was Tompo and Yawano who were the known players that you can talk about. Even August Oka didn't make the squad list to Samates. So Bechem has not been consistent. And as Felix said, they've lost some key players. And I think Boche started as a coach. He left. Osewaya took over. Kuchemisa came. He also went out for some 3-4 games. Malaya took over. So you see, they've not been consistent. And that has been Bechem United's problem. But I believe that I side with Felix because 11 Wonders have nothing to lose. The players are doing justified and they want to impress the other clubs, technical handlers to look at them. Probably a movement from 11 Wonders to Mediama, Gold Stars, Asante Kotoko, House of Folk. It's possible.
It's possible.
So when they are playing, you could clearly see some kind of touches. You can see some kind of energy. Their mental attitude has always been on top. I watched them against Mediama in Takwa. And the first 50 minutes, they scared Mediama. I also watched them, the excerpts of the game that they play against Adriana and Doma. And they are on a bad side. And for me, I think that Bechem knows what is at stake. So if I had listened to Coach Emisa, he said that, look, they need to go all out because for 11 Wonders, if you think that
They are down and out.
They are down and out. You will be laughing on the wrong side of your mouth.
Yeah.
Because they are very good side. Irrespective of their position on the league block, they play very good football. And for me, I think that Bechem United are going to this game as favourite. I met Augustine Okra at Accra Sports when they played the Galaxies, played Heart of Lions and Adriana. And after the game, he made me believe that he will not be part of the team. But today, he's starting the game. So that should tell you that
he won't be part of the team as
the traveling team. The traveling team so he will just go there to motivate them. That's what he said.
But he's the captain now.
I'm saying that he's starting the So after the game, I know what to tell you.
So he will motivate them on the field.
Yeah.
Well, but looking at their lineup, the lineup that I have before me.
Okay, coach, hold it. Before we go to the lineup, I want us to focus on the last 5 matches of 11 Wonders. And Felix made a point that even in that game against San Matex, I mean, it was that close.
Yeah, they were down by 2 and they came back
exactly.
to
It was that close. So it gives us a fair idea of what kind of imprints they would want to leave us in the Ghana Premier League. I mean, apart from that, it's been losses.
Yeah, but apart from the Dreams FC game that Felix even spoke about, they went ahead before Dreams came back to score that 5 goals.
Sure.
You realize that the rest of the goals that they've considered have been two. And it doesn't come easy for the teams to score just 2 goals against them. So for me, I think that they are down, but the players are motivating themselves
to finish it.
And coach, it is important to stress that in that game they lost, they were shown a red card.
Yes, against Dreams.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, but how I was shown a red card, they won against so it depends on who is on the attack and how the players
exactly.
But I think that they are a very good side. I've watched them play, and I think that their strength is on the right side. And the moment you allow them, they will punish you. They always want to attack from the blast of the whistle. So when you make mistakes, they punish you. And they have also inexperienced players on their side. Most of the senior players have decided to move out. They transferred 2 players to All Blacks in the second window. If you are in this position, and you'll be key players.
Transfer 2 key players.
Wow. Now their captain Boateng has not been playing of late. I don't know what is the problem is. Very fine player, one of the fine offensive players you can have in the league. Very good player, and I know clubs are after him. I don't want to mention names of those clubs, but I think that they are doing something.
It looks like most of the players would definitely get opportunities in other clubs.
It depends on how you play. It depends on how you play, because obviously coaches will be recommending. Coaches will look at them and would like to look at them again. And in this case, there's no pressure on them, so they'll play freely. They'll do well. But when you go where there's a pressure and you can't perform, then that's why supporters will be attacking their technical team, that they made bad signings or not. So probably they need to go into, especially their mentality. And I believe that it is a game Bechem needs to, because for Bechem, they have to win this game at all costs. And if you want to win this game at all costs, you need to play above yourself. You have to. I mean, Bechem's last 5 matches clearly indicates that, apart from that painful heavy loss to Nations FC, at least that some level of consistency they have tried to maintain. They beat Aduana, they beat Samatex, and it was a tough game against Mediama. In the game that they lost to Nations FC, I thought that we give credit to Frimpong Manson. He decided to place Ivan Safo on Augustine Okra.
And that did
it. Throughout, Augustine Okra was out of the game from the blast of it. Because Ivan Safo is one of the toughest central midfielders you can. He used to play for Park Academy. And ever since joining Nations, he has been very solid in midfield.
Yeah, he
tackles very well. He wins a lot of the 50-50 balls. Yeah. Augustine Okra will be scanning and walking. So if you don't have idea about how he plays his game, that is why he punishes teams. He did it to Mediama in Bechem. You understand? So he's one player, if you don't stop him from playing, you don't stop him from scanning, you don't stop him from using those spaces, then you are dead. So most of the time, Bechem players play to his style. They play to his advantage. So the moment you are able to adopt the look, let me stop Okra from playing, Bechem is no more. But if you don't see him in the team, then they try to play Tompo. Now Tompo is on the bench today. You see, so Emisa has been able to adapt to what Bechem wants. But sometimes teams do pick early and then they drop and then they try to pick again. That's what has happened to Heart of Lions. They pick early in the preseason and then they drop. Now that they are picking, the league is almost over. Yeah. And for me, I think that Bechem United has to work today.
Do they have that magic wand?
They do. I think
I mean, and I'm asking this in relation to the pointers that we have raised, that yes, indeed, 11 Wonders may be down, they may be out, but they won't give up.
Of course.
I think that they are ending the season where they've showed consistency. And even the last game, the game that they drew against Midema, if it wasn't for a late penalty, they would have picked the maximum point. Yeah. And I think that with Okran starting, it's also a very good motivation for them. And Kofi Tompo is actually starting as well. It tells you that they have a lot of experienced players at this particular point to get them the win. I think that if you look at the remaining fixtures,
Yano is one of the key
players as well.
On the left side
on any day.
Well. I'm expecting them to win this game. I think they have enough individual brilliance as well to get the maximum point. This is a game that they can't afford to draw point. It's a game that they will have to do everything possible to win if they want to stay in the league. I love Bechem United. I love what they're doing. I love the fact that even the community in Bechem comes around anytime they are playing. So there are some of the teams that we really want to see continue their legacy in the Ghana Premier League, and it's a game that I'll put my money on for them to pick their 3 maximum points.
You see, they've put experienced players on the bench today. Frank Amankwa has seen it all. 11 Wonders, Gold Stars. They have the likes of Emmanuel Ampia, the former Kotoko centre back Emmanuel Ampia, the days of Limpopo. That's his son.
Oh,
he played for Elimina Sharks. He went out and came back. He's with them. They have the likes of Isaiah Nyako. He's also on the bench. And of course, Rascal London is also on the bench. So you could clearly see that. Look, let's use these young ones. Let's run at them. Let's get them wet out, and then we bring the experienced players. If we do not get the goals that we need, and I think that is a good plan.
All right. Let's go back and take a look at the head-to-head, because I think there's a developing point we can take note of. The 11 Wonders 2021-2022, they beat Bechem United by 3-2, and then they've also beaten them 2020-2021 by 2-1. Quite apart from that, Bechem have had quite a smooth journey over them.
It basically tells you that these matches are mostly won by the home team. But the fact is, it is also important for us to stress the point that the 11 Wonders wins that we are seeing on the screen were in Techiman.
That is
we're in Techiman. When we're playing at their home.
But this time around, they are more like
home away from.
But they are often. Today they play at AJ Akraku. Tomorrow they are at the University of Ghana.
Exactly.
Today they are playing at the Street Row.
Sports stadium. A neutral ground for
both teams. So it is a game that if you want to follow this trend, you must be very, very careful, because 11 Wonders are not playing at home in Techiman. They are playing in Sredo, and it's also one of the reasons why I think a lot of us here will want to go with the hunters to hunt down, the Wonders of Techiman.
Yeah. But you see, it's interesting talking about the factors that usually contribute sometimes to some of these matches, and I'm taking a look at. Okay, so what is it about home, and what is it about away?
Okay, Prince. I wish. You see, this is.
Before you continue, Techiman had or has a lot of support.
Yes.
In fact, when it comes to football, in the early days when Max TV used to do a lot of the Ghana Premier League, we visited Techiman quite a number of times, and the kind of support there, sometimes you can understand why, when you are not playing at home, you miss a certain part of the rev and the vibe.
Prince, I wish you could get the league table, and I want to use this season as a reference, and maybe we can even go back to some previous seasons. If you get qualified into the Ghana Premier League, and you don't make your home a fortress, you'll get relegated.
Okay.
You see the team on the 9th position, Basake Holy Stars. They have never won a game this season away. Out of the 40 points they have, 38 of them have been won from home.
From home.
They are the second team to have won a lot of points at home.
At home.
And that is the reason why they are where they are. If you look at Hearts of Oak are third on the league log.
Okay.
The reason why Hearts of Oak are third here, at least they find some consistency. When Hearts of Oak were struggling every season, for the last 3 seasons, they were struggling. They needed to win matches on the last day of the season for them to survive. It was because today Asofo could play at Sogakope, they'll come to Legon, they'll move to Accra. So teams that are orphan teams, I call them orphan, when you don't have a stable home, you struggle. There was a point where Asofo were even playing their home matches in Kumasi.
Yes, at some point.
Struggling. Yeah. Heart of Lions, they nearly got relegated because the Pando Sports Stadium was not approved by the club licensing for them to play their games. So they were playing in Hohoi, they were playing in Sogakope, they were struggling. For Dreams FC, when they left Bewu, where were they playing? They were playing some of the games at Legon until...
Here, there, and everywhere.
Yes, until Tuba became a permanent home. It's been a fortress. Vision FC have been able to survive in the league because the near J. Krakow Park is a fortress. Since they got promoted, they've lost only 2 against Mediama and Dreams FC. If you quite remember, Chim Kotoku Royal, they came into the league that Chim Stadium was not ready. They were playing at Cape Coast. They even went to Dewu. Later came to Legon. At that point, it was too late for them to survive.
I see.
And that is the reason why home is very, very important. Home is home. Home sweet home. But if you don't have a home and you are moving around and struggling,
it's hardly to see teams playing one striker at home. It's very hardly to see.
That's also a very good point.
Home teams playing one striker. Normally, they play 2 strikers at home, or probably front 3 to be able to get their goals to win their games. But when they go away from home, they put it at the back of, if I don't win, I will not lose. I'll come back with a point.
Exactly.
You understand? So sometimes you see they play one top when they go away. They try to manage the midfield and also sometimes at the back. Most of the teams do not play 3 back away from home. It was only Bechem United and Mingle who will tell you that I'm playing 3 back.
I'm sure because he had Clinton Dodo.
He had Clinton Dodo and of course Emmanuel Avognon at that time. And then of course Francis Akwa now with Kumasi and Santiago. Good. So apart from him, the rest of the teams don't normally play.
These were names that really figured.
Oh yeah. Of course, because they have been consistent and the coach has been there for over 3 seasons. So he knows what he was doing here today. You go to the clubs, apart from Bashir for that, and then I will say that he has been there for 2 or so seasons. The rest of them are now getting to their 2nd season. So it's a problem.
You're probably right.
You understand? Ibrahim Tanko joined Mediama half of the season, so it's now a full season for him. So if he's able to stay till next season, he will be a tough team to beat because he knows the terrain. He knows how to play at home.
He knows his players.
And he knows his players as well. And the players also understand him. He may choose not to even get up on the touchline, but to sit down and the players will understand what he wants to do. That's why I'm disappointed in Heart of Lions. I'm disappointed in them because in terms of consistency, it was only Mustafa Yakubu, Abel Nego Tete, and then Kosi Pong that left the club. So players that have played for 2.5 seasons, you started with them with the pre-season, and so you also
should have been much better for
them. That is it. That's what I'm talking about. Bechem has lost players. They've lost technical men, and that is why Bechem is struggling. If they're able to maintain Coach Emisa, next season you see how Bechem will do. Because at the Nana Fosu Diabo, it's not a good area for clubs to just go there and pick points.
You're right.
Kotoko has also struggled. Same, not because the players are not good, but in terms of their technical talking issues and all that,
have been
and that has been the problem. As of if Didi Zamani should stay and have opportunity of signing 1 or 2 players, they will be a difficult team to beat. And for me, that is how I see it. But unless the clubs themselves also have their own plans, but if they go the way we are,
so in effect, the consistency is key.
It's key. Look at Ateta for England, for Arsenal, for instance. He's been there for how many seasons? He's back to back in the Champions League semi-finals. Look at the EPL. It's not because of anything. He's been there, and now the players understand. Look at Pep Guardiola. But Chelsea and the clubs, they've been changing coaches as if they are changing their shirts.
Okay, they've been changing coaches as if they've been changing. I know he didn't want to say shirts.
We are on TV.
So whilst he's talking about the change, I will also do a quick change. I'll do a very quick break. When we come back, we'll be getting closer to the teams. We'll be telling you a lot more about what's happening. We'll take a look at the lineups of both sides to take a look at where the strengths, the positives are. And then we'll be joining our set of commentators at the Swedru Stadium for the game. Before all this, we'll do a very quick break. We'll be right back.
Solar drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advert is FDA approved.
Go Max by Inye. Yes, this coming Friday, you know, or you follow to follow, or you out to 50% discount. You come Max by Soviet Equipment, Zebe Piano, so your blando, or your rice cooker, microwave, and Tibia your Max Piano, or your 50% discount. Ebusian way. Yes, or you follow, into my Jamaica, but you will say, catch your be on control be. Ebusian Furinara, or Piano Max by. Walk to any shopping Max by and shop for 50% discount. It's an appetite. Mandimedo was so better.
All right, back into the studios, and we'll be zooming or taking you to the Swedru Sports Stadium shortly. Once we get the green light that all is well, we definitely will be doing that. Before then, Felix Romark still stays with me in the studio together with Coach Sefa, and we're trying to take a look at, you know, some of the positives going into maybe not only this game, but gentlemen, as we wait to get the green light, let's steal a minute or two to talk about the other KG games that will be coming up, because I know there's a lot of interest from you gentlemen. Today is not the key interest, but obviously, I'll start with you, Felix.
I think the top liner has to be the top of the table. Takwa. Ediana, Mediama versus BBN Gold Stars. But it is quite impressive because if you look at the two teams, it means that if any of them win the league, they won 2 trophies in the last 4 seasons. And all 4 winners of the league have come from the western side of the country. It tells you that they are doing something quite good. For Gold Stars, they will go into this game knowing very well that they haven't even scored a goal in their last 3 visits to Takwa. They haven't even won there in their last 4. What is important for them, and our viewers to understand, that the Ghana Premier League, it is not only the point that wins you the league, but the head-to-head. Mediama drew 0-0 at the Dance Park in BBN. So for Gold Stars, if they really want to defend the title, they need to score and hope that it ends in the scoring draw. And that could put them in an advantageous position. And then also, if you look at their remaining fixtures, this is one of the toughest, and probably the game against Dreams in Tuba. They will need to get a scoring draw in this game, or at least win. Because I believe that the key to whoever wins the league will be Accra Folk. They might be kingmakers because they play Mediama on the last day of the season in Accra. And yes, and if you look at Gold Stars have Ho United to play. That's 3 points back. They have 2 games at home. I'm sure they will pick the maximum points. So they have 2 crucial away games, which is Dreams FC and the game in Takwa. If they should manage to get a needed results in Takwa, that could be a huge momentum, for them. So I'm sure. I was at the Accra Sports Stadium. I saw some of the Mediama and the Gold Stars players interact. I'm sure they were talking, of course, about the game. Charlie, this game, they Bechem and all that.
But Charlie, you raised a point too. It's likely Hearts will be kingmakers.
Oh, it could be.
And they have a tie against Mediama.
And at this point, that's of is playing for nothing.
That is the reason why Mediama is looking at the game against Bechem Chelsea.
That is, and Bechem Chelsea is also fighting for survival
on Wednesday, because it's a game, and then of course Gold Stars can also stay at home and think that Samatex is just a team that is coming to no.
That's a Western derby.
It's a tough game against that's on come Wednesday. So Sunday's game in Takwa is a crucial game, very very crucial. And if Mediama should win, they extend the lead to 5. So if they are able to pick a point from Bechem, they are good to go.
They are good to go.
So they want to avoid that last game against Asofo, thinking that is the decider or not decider. All depends on what happened on Sunday, and probably they move. But for Gold Stars, I think that for them, they are yet to lose a game at home. So they can build on it, we're not losing a game at home. Let's finish it. Our toughest game is Sunday's game, and then of course the Dreams FC game. Dreams FC have nothing to lose.
No,
and of course they can also decide. And I think that what Dreams is doing at Tuba, it's never going to be easy.
Decision makers are getting.
And I'm happy the way the league is going. Yes, the last 5 years. And for me, Mediama and Gold Stars have proven that look, they are the best in the league this season.
Of consistency.
Because either Kotoko has to fall, Diana and the rest will be playing, and of course, though they are not in the middle of the probably top 4 for them, fine. But I think that Diana, for instance, last season were 8th on the league log. This season, the target to attack hotel that was top 4, and so that is why probably they are fighting. Unfortunately for them, they are not to be in the FA Cup finals where they couldn't. Nations need to win their game against House of Folk, because looking at their position on the league, if you can have the league table on the screen, Nations cannot afford to lose that game, because if they lose that game, they will be in trouble. Because looking at Nations FC, they are not there. Look at the position of Nations FC. You have 38 points, and then looking at Bechem Chelsea 35. Bechem Chelsea should have their 3 points from Hoho United. It's not 38.
Yeah, that's 38.
So Nations. So Heart of Lions, that is going to Doma. So it tells you that all the teams from
Vision are at home.
You see, so it's a difficult for all the clubs. Very difficult. Very, very, very difficult for all the clubs. So I believe that for me, Mediama and then Gold Stars, they've done really, 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 really well this season. And for me, we need to commend them. It's not easy. They all started from point 0. But at this stage, 2 of them have singled themselves out of the rest.
Because they've been the most consistent.
And that's what I'm saying. So we need.
And you know one thing. Do you know that Bibiani Gold Stars have the same number of points as they were at this particular? So 51 points after match with 29 last season. They had 51.
They had 51 points.
So that is the consistency. That is the bar.
Has been
very, very important.
And
should they be able to defend the league title, it means that they join a club. Exclusive club. If you are not Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Hearts of Folk, or Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's Rare Republicans, these are the clubs that have defended league titles in Ghana. It is something that is very difficult.
But irrespective of whatever we say, I think that the beginning good stars have done it. After eliminating or coming back from Africa, everybody thought that they were going to struggle. And of course, the exit of Frimpong Manson and Smith coming on board. But I think that their game against All Blacks after they returned for Africa to beat them 1-0 at the Swedru Park also gave them some hope. That look, if we put our acts together, we can do it. And I think that they've done really done well. Tanko at Accra Lions, we knew for them Teteton what they were doing. So for him to go in the half of the season to Mediama, and then this season took the team to Cote d'Ivoire for a pre-season, and I think that he has really done well. When you watch Mediama play, of course, he's having about 5 of his players in the Galaxies, the U20. It's not just the players, but they are playing so well, so well. And for me, I think that these are coaches.
I think that performances, the consistency levels. Yes.
So I think that,
and also I think sound managerial practices has also pushed the effort.
The CEOs of both teams, Akosedu and then James Esrifi, are working. Of course, I mean, I hear people talk about Moses Amaka. Moses Amaka is the bankroller. He's not the CEO. He's the main man behind. You understand? The bankroller of Mediama. When you talk of the CEO, it's James Esrifi and then Akosedu, who's also the CEO.
But look at the last 3 winners, and probably we'll have the last 4 winners of the league. And administratively, look at how they are being run. Look at Summertest, they are structured administratively.
America is doing something good.
Look at Bibiani Gold Stars. Look at Mediama as well.
Of course, James Esrifi, they are all working. So for me, I think that these are key people that we should look at. And I think that next season, I'm sure we are going to have good administratively in terms of our football. If you have good administrators in your team, you are good to go. Look, I was in Takwa last time and I was so happy for Moses Amapaka and Mediama. They've really done well.
Okay.
Look, you sit there, you watch football, you think you are in Europe.
Well, structures is what really works. And when the structures are put in place, obviously, the expectations will almost always soar and go higher and higher. Let me take a quick trip to Swedru. The coaches are ready to talk to us. And so let's listen briefly to what they have to tell us in terms of this afternoon's encounter and their thoughts or expectations. And then my panelists will be wrapping up here in the studio. Let's cross over to the Swedru Sports Stadium and listen to the coaches.
Here, about 5 games to go. The damage has already been done. 11 wonders are going down. But you're coming up against a team that is battling to survive. Do you think the pressure would be on them this afternoon?
Certainly, yes, because we are bearing no pressure as at now. Yeah, but we are still competing. Yes, so we are really prepared for the game. Yeah, as it stands right now. Yeah.
Now I know you are in a very tough situation. But what is the motivation for these players who come out every week to play?
Yeah, it has always been like that because, like I've always said, we are not the first team to go to relegation and will not be the last. And since this is not the end of our football career, so we need to persist and then prepare for, you understand me, the next season. Yeah, so this moment serves like the major transition for us. So we are good to go. Yeah.
And in terms of how you know Bechem United and how this game would go this afternoon, do you think you can cause an upset?
We are prepared and we are coming to play. We went there. We lost 1-0, and I don't want to talk about whatever happened there. But then we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Coach, wish you the very best.
Thanks so much.
Coach, it's another mad day here at the Swedru Sports Stadium. We are coming up against a team that is more or less relegated. Does that make it difficult? Because it looks like the pressure would be on you rather.
You are right. This reminds me of Shaq and the same 11 wonders. That time when Shaq was going to relegation and we were playing 11 wonders and they underrated us and we were able to beat them. So this match is very important for us because we're also struggling for the relegation. We are part of teams that are struggling for the relegation. So we are not going to relax on this particular game. Very, very important match for us.
In recent weeks, we've seen that you've been able to pick up the results, especially that famous win against Samatex. How important would this be for your survival if you beat them here?
Yes, going to Samatex, what we did and got the points is exactly what we did this week toward this game, because we all realized that Samatex was the game that we have lost that game, but this time we're also struggling for the relegation. But we were determined, prepared well. All our training sessions were based on what we want to do, and this is exactly what we did this week. So I believe this week we are going to have a very good game and we are going to get that 3 points.
Thank you very much, Coach.
You are welcome.
All right, so we've heard from the two coaches. Gentlemen, before we switch back to Swedru, what do you make of the thoughts going into the match today? I'll start with you, Felix.
I think Emmanuel Edu, he knows very well that there is nothing for them to lose. But he's shown that, you know what, they are there to at least make it very competitive, make it difficult for the Hunters. And I'm expecting it to be so. But at the end of the day, or even at the end of the opening 45 minutes, I expect Bechem to at least score a goal or two.
Opening 45, at least a goal for Bechem. Coach?
I don't have to. I side with Felix, but if
how important will be that early goal?
It depends on their warm-up. For me, early goals depends on your warm-up. Okay. How you start the game depends on how you warm up. Okay. But if 11 unless you get a goal, I will not be surprised. But I still go for Bechem United to win at the end of the 90 minutes.
It is imperative that both coaches start well, but it is also important that at least they show glimpses of what the team is ready to do. Let me take it from the home side, which is 11 wonders. Coach has told us they have prepared well for the game. Will that be enough to show how hungry they are to at least pick up viable points in this match?
I haven't seen their hunger in the last 5 games they've played. Probably because they know they are already gone to Division 1. But like Coach said, you know, most of the players are playing more like a justifier, you know, to get the attention of other teams. And it could probably also mean that the coach himself, who is not experienced or hasn't been exposed to the Ghana Premier League. He's coming at a very difficult moment in the history of the club. He himself probably might be coaching to justify his stay in the Ghana Premier League. Maybe he could be an assistant to one of the top coaches, or he might even get a position to coach one of the teams. So it's more like a justifier for the team. And I'm also sure that in respect to Ghana Premier League, integrity is very, very important.
Of course.
So he want the boys to come out and make sure that the integrity of the league is at stake. Though we've been relegated, let's go out there and show people that we respect the league, we respect the competition that we are playing in. So I'm expecting it to be a very competitive game.
Okay, Coach. In relation to the question I asked, and you can now let's zoom in on the first 11 of both sides. Obviously, there are strong pointers for Bechem United. There may be everyday run-ins in terms of personnel for 11 Wonders. Wherein lies the important factors? Taking a look at.
Well, you see, Bechem United is a side who love to build from the back. They try to tease you to create space for Augustine Okra. He's their target man. If it doesn't work for them, they try to use.
If he doesn't get a good day, then it means Bechem United.
If he doesn't get a good day, within the first early stages of the second half, they just substitute him and let him go off. And then they bring somebody like London to be able to also do that kind of runs on the line. But I think that Yawano is also a threat, and of course, Ata Free Derek is also one player that they also have to look at. So for me, I think that Bechem United, that is how they play. I mean, they build from the back, and then they always have to target Augustine Okra. 1v1, you don't allow Okra space. You don't 1v2, you don't allow him space. When you see Okra walking on the pitch, you shouldn't take it that he's tired or something. He's scanning. The moment he takes off, he's looking for the ball, and every good player moves into space without the ball. So Bechem United are good to go.
One key factor will be to play him out of the game.
Close him down.
Close him down. Don't allow him to do his thing.
By closing him down, you also need to stop that pass from where he's coming. You understand my point? Close him down.
But you see, Coach, let me ask you, tactically, once you keep your eye on him, as in Augustine Okra, and let's assume that all fails, there could also be ploys around. Exactly.
I agree. But the point is that all the players are tactically disciplined. You've given them instructions. Look, we are taking off Augustine Okra. Definitely they will switch from that plan, because the passes will not come to Okra again. And you have to make sure that you stop where the pass is coming from. Because if you don't stop where the passes are coming from, Okra has got pace than most of the players in the Ghana Premier League. So the moment they lob the ball behind the back line of the defenders, he's gone. So for me, I think that you need to also vary what you do. Because if you place, like, as I said about Frimpong also placing Ivan Safo on Augustine Okra, because Demisa couldn't vary his game. So he has to pull out Augustine Okra. Frimpong has to use Inzoli in Medford to be able, and Sulemana to be able to play that role for them to cover Ivan Safo. So at the end of the day, it was a good game.
Well, we're still eagerly waiting for the green light from the Swedru Stadium. The players have gone through the warm-up, and it looks like all is just about set for the game. Once they hand over to us, then we can also hand over to them for live commentary to begin in this game. But it's a key and it's a very tough, important match for match day 31. And on your screen currently is the players of Bechem United warming up.
That is Aminu Mohammed. I mean, Pakusi under 17 in India.
Wow.
He was the player they were looking up to. He signed for Manchester City.
That's
the
young man.
I mean, even there was nowhere Kudus and the rest. That was the guy.
That was the guy.
Aminu Mohammed. He's on the screen. But that's football for you.
Yeah. Well, better doors will open for him, and he's warming up beside one of his mentors, I believe. Augustine Okra is also looking sharp. Coach, I'm wondering why Augustine told you that he won't come to Swedru. He won't.
Maybe he was just pulling my legs.
Maybe he was pulling your legs. What they have got into now, you can't leave anybody behind.
No, on the other side, maybe he's thinking that, but he told me that he's just going there to motivate them, and then he will just. But he's starting. He's captaining the team today. It's good for him.
All right. Let's do our last break, and when we come back, we switch over to Swedru.
Drinks, a whole new vibe, another quality product from Bechem.
This advert is FDA approved.
I want to watch the match. Even watches Ghana football these days.
Do you know Charles Taylor?
The president.
Charles the Terror Taylor. He terrorized defenses with his dribbles. Who know Dominic? The general lifting up trophies. Stephen Odo was orchestrating the game. The legends of yesterday, they have paved way for the heroes of today. Do you know the Ghana Premier League?
No, Dad.
It's our game. It's our pride. And you watch it now live every weekend from now on.
Catch the Ghana Premier League live this and every weekend.
Max by yes, this coming Friday, you know, or you follow to follow, or you out to 50% discount. You come Max by so because it could be a busia, Zebe piano, so your blendo, or your rice cooker, microwave, and Tibia your Max piano busia, or your 50% discount. Ebusia, yes, or you follow into my gemete, but you will say, catch your bee, on control bee, Ebusia. Or Bialan Max buy. Walk to any shopping Max buy and shop for 50% discounts. It's an abate. Manjimito. What's so better?
Novella chats. Max TV telenovelas. Namidi any comfortable. AK sensational.
Novella Chat at 1 p.m. every Sunday only on Max TV.
Buy Now Pay Later policy is here to help you. For phones, bring your Ghana card, your voter's ID, or your driving license. make a 30% deposit, and you're good to go home with your brand new phone. Also, if you want an appliance to buy, you need to make 40 to 50% deposit. Bring your Ghana card, your voter's ID, or your driving license. Additionally, you need to provide a copy of your electricity bill receipt, either soft copy or hard copy. Your installation because it's free. When Max buy now, pay later, you need to go to our shop to do it. You can go to locations as shown on your screen. You can also call us on 0594 091 122. Shop now and pay later with ease. Max Buy, making shopping easy for you.
It's lucky way.
Let the fun and excitement begin. Your #1 online casino in Ghana, Lucky Win, is back with a bang. With more than 70 new exciting games and big cash prizes, including the popular Aviator, where you can win 1,000 times your bet amount. They say,
the Ghana Premier League return after a 2-week break following the semi-final games in the FA Cup and the demise of Bechem Chelsea forward Dominic Frimpong over the last 2 weeks. We are back in action for the remaining games in the Ghanaian top flight, with Bechem United aiming to avoid relegation in this game against already relegated 11 Wonders. We are live from the Swedro Sports Stadium, Scotchy sun on 33 degrees Celsius here. My name is Nana Dakwa Jesse, together with Josiah Okokwe, while your commentators for this game here in Swedro.
Yeah, good afternoon. And it feels good to be back. It feels good to have the Ghana Premier League back, especially with the last 5 games of the season set to happen over the next couple of weeks, and this certainly should be a mouth-watering one. 11 Wonders, yeah, they have been condemned to the Division 1 for next season. But you talk about Bechem United, who are still trying and working their way out of danger. Currently, they are not all that safe. They are not entirely safe. You'd say the atmosphere, you know, the ambience is quite okay for this game, and certainly I just can't wait to see to the commencement of this particular one. It should be a blockbuster here in Sweden.
On behalf of all of us at Adesa Productions, we wish all workers across the globe an happy International Workers' Day. Today marks the day to celebrate workers globally, and we're excited to be here in Swedro to bring to you this live game here in the Ghana Premier League. For 11 Wonders, it's just about enjoying themselves, and players expecting to attract interest from willing and able clubs who would want to revamp their squads for the new season. It's just about turning up, showing up, and playing in the games, knowing very well that even if they win the remaining games in the Premier League, they will still go to relegation. 11 Wonders.
Yeah, that's a given. They're going down, but at this point, so collectively as a club, there's nothing to play for. But individually, these players deep down know the essence of turning up in such games against a team like Bechem United. You'd always want to prove a point, and I think that's why the stakes certainly will be high for them.
The last Premier League game for 11 Wonders was against Dreams FC at the Tuba AstroTurf. They were pummeled in a game they considered 5 times and responded only once. Bechem United are coming into this game after holding the current league leaders Mediama Sporting Club to a 1-1 drawn game in Bechem, with Augustin Okra getting that goal for Bechem United. They are bent on staying in the top flight, with some tricky games remaining in the Premier League for them. After this game, they welcome Dreams to Bechem. They return to Swedro in a week's time to play against All Blacks in a potential relegation decider. They have another home game against Kotoko, and they wrap up their season in a regional derby against Bechem Chelsea. So there's all to play for, and they've got their job cut out for them, Bechem United.
Yeah, and that's why you just can't take your eye off this game, because, like I said, 11 Wonders as a team, they are down, but the players have got quite a lot to play for. And then also you're looking at Bechem United, who'll be returning to this pitch in the next couple of weeks again. So would really be important for them, you know, to try and exploit everything here today against an already relegated side, hoping that they can pick some clues heading to their game against Swedro Blacks here.
Stepped onto the pitch already. Augustin Okra is leading Bechem United in their dominant lemon green jerseys. 11 Wonders in blue and red strips here in Swedro, a venue they adopted after leaving the University of Ghana Sports Stadium and the Accra Sports Stadium. They've equally played at the Niaje Kraku Park in Tamanutam. They shuffled around venues this season, but 11 Wonders.
It's not helped them. It's not really done them any good, but they'll really be counting on this chap there, Ralph Muna, to get them the goals today. And, you talk about the fact that, yeah, they've had an awful season, but individually they've really, had some good players. You talk about their captain, Frank Awere, who had to leave, for All Blacks, and even Muna, who scored twice against Basakoli Stars, this season. It tells you there's still some quality in there, for 11 Wonders.
The last time these two teams met in the Premier League back in Bechem was United, who got the better of 11 Wonders, beating them by 1-0 through a 74-minute penalty that was expertly converted by Augustin Mensah, aiming to do the double and most importantly keep their relegation survival chances alive here at the Swedro Stadium. That's the 11 Wonders starting lineup for this afternoon's game. They have goalkeeper Obinfue J in pose. At right back is Jibril Mohammed. Desmond Champon is at left back. In central defense is the ever-present Edmond Afurapo and Kenneth Owusu-Boakye. Desmond Tete and Ahmed Issa play in the pivotal midfield role with Ampon Sena Samoa on the wings. Ewula and Muna leading the attack for Wonders this afternoon.
Yeah, looks like a 4-4-2 there, but could morph into a 4-2-3-1. And you have Ewula supporting Muna. Ewula will be playing in that hole, and if you talk about Muna getting the goals for Wonders, then that creator in the hole, they will be counting on, to give those defense-splitting passes. The incisive passes will be Angel Ewula. He's really been a playmaker for them all season.
One season wonder for 11 Wonders. They only qualified for the Premier League this season when they emerged tops from Zone 1. But it's a rather quick return to Division 1 for 11 Wonders. The realities of the Premier League hitting them so hard. Angel Ewula stepped in, but his captain has taken that responsibility. Emmanuel Boateng, not on the official team sheet, but has showed up to take charge of the pre-match formalities. Foster Bashos is our centre man for this afternoon. He's assisted by Alex Osam and then Mary Tay. Our fourth referee is Retan Kansa Boateng. Our match commissioner for this afternoon is Onisimos Niajiri. This is the Bechem United lineup for this game here in Swedro. Emmanuel Enin in pose. At right back is Samuel Atugba. Foster Jemfi at left back. Derek Etefrie and Boat Regan in central defense. In midfield is Richard Jamna, Kofi Tompo and Emmanuel Sefa. There's a three-man midfield of Arno Yosin and Augustine Okra.
Quite a packed midfield, but then also they'll be playing with some variations, especially on the offensive. It would be a 4-1-2-3. You have Sefa Tumpo playing as two number 10s right behind Yosin Okra and Jawano, and it really looks like an attacking formation, attacking setup by Bechem United. They know the importance of this game. They know how critical winning this game would be to their Premier League survival chances.
The Hunters in town for maximum points against the already relegated 11 Wonders, but there's a saying that he that is down fears no fall. Exactly the approach they want to go into this game with. They want to walk away from the Premier League with some pride. These boys from Wonders.
Yeah, and that's why you talk about the fact that as a team they're already down, but individually you wouldn't say that for most of these players. There's still quality in there. You watch them week in, week out, and you appreciate the quality, you know, they have.
Foster Barrios gets us ready for kickoff here in Swedro. It's Friday kickoff in the Ghana Premier League, and 11 Wonders gets us going for this match day 31 fixture in the Ghanaian top flight. 11 Wonders versus Bechem United. Ainin. Here's Regan. Bechem United in control. Jamina. A free air. Good ball, gets to no crowd, good at control. But unable to get to his man. Chance for Bechem United. Ball is cleared away for the first corner of the afternoon, going the way of Bechem United.
Yeah, just 1 minute into the game, but it looks as if the Wonders defense looks a bit jittery. Half clearances there. You could see, you know, Tom Poe nearly pouncing on that loose ball for a second.
Bechem corner. Emmanuel Sefa bends one to the near post. And is the opening goal for Bechem United. Under 2 minutes and Bechem United in the lead here at the Swedro Stadium. Augustine Okra once again proving to be the main man to be counted on in difficult times. Okra puts Bechem United ahead very, very early in this game.
Certainly, poor defense there. Some poor defending by 11 Wonders. Not the best. We spoke about the fact that already under 1 minute they looked jittery, but just look at that. And he needed some luck over there. Just went through his legs, but unfortunately clips, you know, the inside of the left foot, and it looks everyone at that point. Just look at that. But then he was onside, and that is just a fortunate goal for Augustine Okra.
Lovely little flick, aided by some luck. Hans Augustine Okra, his 12th goal of the season. 25 games, 12 goals for Augustine Okra. Very impressive statistics for the journeyman Okra.
That puts him at par with the league top scorer now. And if he's aiming to win the golden boot, then perhaps that's the game for him to grab a couple more.
He's already won top scorer in the Ghanaian top flight with Bechem United during his previous stints with the club. And he seems to be enjoying one of his best seasons with the Hunters in this current campaign. Okra, he's been the pivot around which everything has revolved in this United setup. Okra. Good play from Atugba. Foster Jemfi to Emmanuel Sefa. Regan. Okra. Lost possession. Here is Desmond Champon. He's looking for Asamoah. Flag goes up and Asamoah is offside.
A good call, like on the left-hand side, left alone, but it just took off too fast, too swiftly, and it was good play by the defense of Bechem United. We should also expect that we play with a highlight, you know, for majority of the game, due to the fact that you don't see that sharpness in Wonders, and you don't expect their front line to press so high.
Atugba on the chase for the ball on the right side. He sends in a first-time cross, and is blocked by the Wonders goalkeeper Obinfo Ejay without any problems. Hardy Obinfo will be looking back at that goal conceded and asking himself how his defender allowed Okra to have access to that loose ball to pick up the opening goal. A champion back to Hardy Obenfo. As a poor pass is intercepted by Atugba, but he can't keep it in place. A throw into 11 Wonders.
Yeah, and we could see Bechem score a lot more if Wonders, would continue like this throughout the game. It's already 5 minutes and we've not really seen anything promising from them, in every department of the game. Talking about the offense, the defense as well. They've been dominated in midfield by Bechem United. Perhaps something needs to change now at this point, else they could be, a drubbing here this afternoon.
Jamfi. Here is Emmanuel Seifa trying to pick up Atugba. Final touch came off Atugba. Referee decides against a Bechem advantage. Asamoah stayed onside but had to be caught in the trap by his own movement. That's a clumsy challenge. It's a foul.
And that's not what you're expecting from Angela Wooler, playing in that number 10 position. You're expecting him to get onto the ball often, try to make something work, going forward for 11 Wonders. But already the frustration could set in.
Also Boacheto, Desmond Champon. Ewula. Wonders win back possession. Desmond Tete unable to control the ball. Here is Seifa. Now Augustine Okra for Bechem United, the goal scorer. Looking for options. He finds one in Jamfi. Here is Foster Jamfi. Now Yawana will take charge. Swings in across. Okra is lurking. Flicked away by Boache. And a champion returns it to the goalkeeper. He handles it. No qualms about that.
Yeah, for a second, there were some protests from the Bechem United players asking for an indirect free kick or anything at all, but the referee having none of that.
Muna. Ralph Muna with some good movement right there. He goes down just before the eyes of the referee. He doesn't think there's anything in that one for the Wonders attacker. Waiting for that whistle from the referee to gain the advantage, Ralph Muna. What regain? Foster Jamfi. Kofi Tompo wins the decision for Bechem United.
A bit robust by Kenneth Boachiosu, who just obstructs Kofi Tompo. Just moves, tries to block him, and it's really been a very long season for Wonders. And at this point, you'd say, yeah, they are playing games in the Premier League, but they are also thinking and planning live in the Division 1 for next season. They might want an immediate return back to the top flight. Already you can feel that mentally they've just not been there to play games.
A champion. Brought in a champion. One of the brightest spots in this 11 Wonders team, the captain and number 10, Emmanuel Boateng. I'm sure he's going to be the subject of transfer talk when the season comes to an end. Even before the second transfer window opened, a lot of clubs inquired about his availability, but Wonders kept the asking price above what could be offered by these clubs. But I'm sure now they are down from the top flight. They'll be willing to do business when the right price comes.
Yeah, perhaps he's been one of the best players, throughout the season. Even though, the team hasn't really lived up to expectations.
Angele Wula down the left-hand side. Here is Asamoah. Swings in one, and that's awful. Poor delivery from Aiden Asamoah.
It's been by far the sharpest in the Wonders team, and at that point you're expecting him to do better. He had Angela Wula waiting right on the edge of the penalty box, and again just wanted to try something audacious, the leg over, and that was just atrocious. Look at that finishing. There was no way. It was just hitting the back of the net with that.
Augustine Okra to Atugba. Not on the same page with the right back. Also watch his delivery gone wayward.
He doesn't really look a happy man. Kofi Asamoah, he's really been lacking on the left-hand side, hoping that he would at least stay on side, when one good ball will be delivered into the channel, but he's not really had that so far in this game. He's been the fastest, the sharpest, of all the players of 11 Wonders.
Anotu Seifa. Lovely play from Emmanuel Seifa. But it gives possession away. Referee thinks there was so much in that tackle by Angele Wula on Emmanuel Seifa. I think he's going to be the first player to get the yellow card, Angele Wula, for that clumsy challenge on Emmanuel Seifa.
Oh, and I think, Foster Bashos just runs out of patience. And I think that was the right call. It was a bit clumsy. It was late on Seifa. And it's the second time in the space of 5 minutes he has actually committed a foul. And the first one, Foster Bashos had to send a word of caution, but this time he just had to flash the yellow card. And Wula needs to be calm now. A lot is expected of him, in that number 10 position, playing right behind Muna.
It's getting a bit clumsy. Another poor challenge from Desmond Tete. This time it will be a verbal caution by Foster Bashos, having issued a yellow card a few seconds ago. Reagan's ball to Foster Gemfi. He's unable to control as he rolls out for a throw into 11 Wonders.
And I think Wonders are paying the price for not being sharp enough. And you can see it's so telling with the way that they've rather conceded possession to Bechem United.
Tete with a lovely ball looking for Asamoah, and it's a good tackle by Atugba. Well read, well calculated. Foster Gemfi making the needed contact with shouts coming from the stance of a penalty, but nowhere near that.
Yeah, and there's so much freedom, there's so much space for the Bechem United defense to operate now. There's no pressure whatsoever. And for Wonders, they're not even pressing, not even trying to win the ball in the offensive third.
Regain. Atugba on the right side, unable to keep the ball in. Efriye loses possession, but he recovers in time to find Jemfi. He comes under pressure and finds the central midfielder, Jamina. Safer to Atugba. Trying to exploit that space on the left-hand side of the Wanderers defense, but that's a very poor cross coming from Atugba.
Yeah, that's just bad from him. He's had so much space up front, no one there. Had enough time as well to send in a quality ball. You could see about 2, 3, 4 Bechem United players trying to attack that one. All they needed was a decent ball. Again, the high line of Bechem United really causing so much problems to 11 Wonders. They're trying to, soak the pressure. They're trying to go with the long balls, but I think it's been smart defending so far. The traps have really been set well by the Bechem United defense.
Safer pounces on the loose ball, tries to go into the box, but Moses Tete gets it away. Desmond Tete. Pressure from Okra. That's what to gain control. Switches to Angela Woola, waiting for the flag to stay down, but eventually goes up. Is an offside against Angela Woola.
And that's the fifth time in 17 minutes. Wonders, have been flagged offside again. Just miles away from the last Bechem United defender. If they should play this way throughout this game, it wouldn't really help them. Perhaps something needs to change for them. You look at them and it looks like the fastest players are the players playing, at the wide areas.
Here's Asamoah up against Atugba, checks onto it. Boateng cuts back. Efriye goes in for it. Wonders had a man down in the Bechem United box, but Foster Bash was not interested.
But then the shouts for a penalty.
Asamoah goes down this time. Foster Bashos whistles for a Wonders free kick. They seem to be stepping up and really coming into the game from the last 2 minutes, 11 Wonders.
Yes, Ali, but then that was that initial ball again. Boateng, does well to play there, goes through the legs of the defenders. I don't think there was contact made there. Yeah, he was sandwiching between two defenders, but you asked for clear contact and none was there, none. I think Foster Bashos isn't within close proximity to see that and just wave off the appeals.
A champion delivers. Away by Tompo. Tete. Aiming at the champion. That's what to pick him up. Good turn by Asamoah. Timely clearance from Atugba for a Wonders corner.
And that's all they've tried to do now. They've pinned Bechem United to their own penalty area, and they are really enjoying a brief spell of possession. The entire game we've not really seen them on the ascendancy, and now they've really been dangerous.
Corner taken. No problems for Emmanuel Ainin in post for United. Here is Yawano. His elder brother also played for Bechem United. Made a big name for himself before moving to Ashanti Gold. And only a few years ago decided to switch and play for the Togolese national team, following consistent snub by the Ghanaian selectors. Wondering whether his younger brother will follow the path his elder brother took to play for the Hawks of Togo. Angela Ewula. A Champon, Asamoah Ewula. Flag stays down. He can still go forward, but eventually Bashaw's whistles. Did he get it right from the beginning? Well.
Yeah, it was from the second assistant referee. You know, it delayed a bit. Everyone was expecting it. The player himself was contemplating. You could see the stops in the run he was making at that point, but it's been the same story throughout. But I think he made that run from an onside position, and perhaps it was as a result of the ball going out of play and not really the flag going up for an offside.
A Champon's cross. Ewula. Tete. Loses out. Here is Kofi Tompo. Regan looking for Okra. Okra has beaten Kenneth Owusu-Boakye to it. Lays one onto the path of his forward partner. Tompo looking for Ano. Flag is up against Ano for offside.
Yeah, and that indication from the assistant referee tells you he had to move from an offside position. Yeah, right call. Just a fraction offside there. Yawano, who was on the move, and it's so far been the highlight of this game. Both defenses playing very smart sometimes, not too much physicality, but trying to set those traps where if you move too early, then perhaps you would be caught offside.
This should be another offside. Yes, it was very predictable. The signals were very clear for another offside. 11 Wonders trail Bechem United on 22 minutes by a lone goal scored by Augustine Okra. So there you see him drifting all alone. That's a wide gap for an offside trap.
Yeah, but it's still the game plan. It's not changed for 11 Wonders. You speak about the fact that they look a bit rusty. I don't know if for 2 weeks, without playing Premier League football has really affected them. But they look a bit off the pace, and the only players making the runs are Kofi Asamoah and then Amponsa on either flank.
Here's Kenneth Boakye. 11 Wonders have conceded 54 goals so far in the Premier League. They've scored only 17. They've got the weakest defense in the Premier League, and they've also scored the least number of goals in the Ghanaian top flight this term. 11 Wonders. 1 draw and 4 defeats, with 3 successive home defeats in their last 5 games in the Ghanaian Premier League. There's not been a positive story to write on their return to the Premier League this season. 11 Wonders. They need to go back, regather, regroup, re-strategize, and think about a possible return to the top flight. But they've got to do a lot of work in Zone 1B, where they originally came from the Division 1.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's the most difficult thing to do, for any team.
Just 10 points so far for them this season. Here is Augustine Okra to Atugba. It's obvious Atugba wants a corner. Ewula. This is promising from 11 Wonders. Now here is Asamoah. He's got Ralph Muna in the middle. Asamoah turns to Ralph Muna, but he's unable to control the ball as it falls to goalkeeper Emmanuel Enin. Unlucky Muna.
Yeah, just unlucky. He was trying to make that first touch, with the left foot, just trying to open himself up a bit. But it was a lovely skill, and just look at that, trying to stay on side. Yeah, he was being policed there, by Freer, but he was just so unlucky. The flight of that ball, the weight of it, think he just anticipated rightly.
Desmond Tete switches to Asamoah with such a brilliant control by Edin Kofi Asamoah. Lovely skill, but he has no support. Goes down, not too much in that one for a foul. Kofi Tompo charge forward for Bechem United. Tompo tries to lay one for Imano Ano, but there's so much weight on that pass for Ano to get to it.
Yeah, he's just too heavy. And, you know, you talk about both teams on the ascendancy, and I think there's been so much spaces to be exploited. And that's a two-bar down on the turf.
Bechem United's right back Samuel Atugba has gone down, and the medical team will respond to him as the Wonders players take the advantage to pick up some instructions from head coach Emmanuel Edu. Edu's job will be difficult, knowing too well that no matter what you do, these guys will play in the Division 1 next season. What could be the motivation? What could be spurring them on in games like this?
And that's why he deserves so much, you know, commendation for what he's doing, you know, keeping that energy each time he's in the dugout. You could feel, you know, that verve, the energy, you know, to give instructions and still go out there and win games. And I think the players respect him for that. He didn't start the season with them, but he gave them their first win, and after that they won again. And, you know, they've really had some memorable times.
I thought the cooling break wasn't over, but game is quickly started, and Wonders nearly taking advantage of Bechem United unattentiveness.
Yeah, there's no time to waste for them. They know they need, you know, to claw back some pride. You're down, and it's just a slim margin. It's just 1-0, and anything can happen.
Angel Ewula, he's got Enin to beat. Enin is committed himself, but Ewula unable to take advantage. Here is Asamoah. He's up against Atugba. Goal kick, clever defending by Samuel Atugba.
And now finding the open spaces, 11 Wonders down the left-hand side, and, you know, a couple of times they breached that defense, but that was quick reaction there. Those super awareness by Enin to step out of his line and, you know, try to make himself so big for Ewula. That could be a huge chance missed for 11 Wonders.
Ewula wins the free kick for 11 Wonders. Tete quickly takes it onto the right side. Matthew Amponsan is up against Jamina. Now Yawano. Kofi Tompo turns around calmly and finds Yorson. Sefa to Yawano on the left hand side. Good pace by Ano. He's got Jumot to beat. Good defending by Kenneth Owusu-Boakye. Great awareness by the centre back.
He does well. Just races together with Yawano. You talk about one of the fastest players in the league. Yawano certainly one of them, but so much determination in the defender.
Watson gives the ball away. Here is Jamna. Goes past his marker. Tries to set up Okra. Ball goes wide, and Okra still hangs on for Bechem United. Here is the goal scorer, Augustin Okra. Sends the Keller in, and Bechem United coming so close. Yorson unable to make the needed contact.
I think it's the closest they've come since scoring the first goal. And again, they need to make the job easier for the attackers. And Yano had to raise, you know, for a while before getting onto that. But again, no one pushing him. Just had to just time that header and just direct it on target. Just look at that. I think it was a golden opportunity to double the lead for Bechem United.
Muna dispossessed. Tompo. Yorson sees the movement of Ano. That's good defending from Jumo. I know it was a shot late, but Bechem United still hang on. Here is Safer. Richard Jamina hands possession to Wonders. Also Boache. Boateng. Here is Asamoah. Flag goes up because the ball had already traveled outside the line for a throw-in. We've done half an hour here at the Swedro Stadium. Already relegated 11 Wonders trail Bechem United by 1-0. Goal scored by Augustine Okra just after 1 minute.
And Emmanuel Edu, not a happy man now. Just believes they've done enough. They've done quite a lot, you know, to at least get on the board in this game.
Now Amponsa gets on the right side. Cross intercepted by a free for a Wonders corner.
Another purposeful ball. No, using the right-hand side of attack. If it's not the left-hand side where you find Kofi Asamoah, then it's the right-hand side where there's another speed star in Matthew Amponsa who's doing so much damage. And it was a very direct ball.
That's Monachampon to take the corner for Wonder. Swings one in and is straight to earning. No problems for the Bechem United goalkeeper.
That's not beating him. Again, you don't see the centre backs of Wonders trying to attack that one. You know, with desperation and energy. It's not really there. You look at the height of that defensive line of the Bechem United, and yeah, it looks certainly that they would be winning all those duels.
Bechem United are 13th on the league log, knowing too well a win here will keep their survival chances alive. They've won 10 times this season and played 7 drawn games, 11 defeats for them this term. 26 goals scored. That goal scored by Augustine Okra was the 26th time they were scoring in the Ghanaian Premier League, conceding 31. But they've not been good travellers, Bechem United. Their only win came against Samatex, and Atukba is offside.
And now I'm losing count of the offside calls in this particular game again. Yeah, last man, and you know, Wonders also resorted to the highlight now. They're trying to beat Bechem United at their own game already.
Bechem United have just one win in 13 away games. They've drawn twice and lost as many as 10 away games. The only victory came against Samatex at the Century Arena in Samraboy. Difficult grounds, they were able to pick maximum points and now are in the lead against Wonders in Swedro. Asamoah stays onside. Sends one for a Champon. A Champon cuts back, but there's nobody for 11 Wonders. They have it back. Boateng to Matthew Amponsa. Jemfi blocks the effort and is a corner for Wonders.
Yeah, you can smell a goal coming for 11 Wonders now. You can feel that they've really warmed themselves into the game and they're making the right decisions now, especially in the attacking third. And with the way they are taking on players now, then, you know, trying to beat the offside trap each and every time tells you that, you know, they just need one quality ball, one decisive ball, and they could grab the equalizer.
A Champon's corner. Again, it's straight to goalkeeper Enin. Nobody's attacking when those balls are floated in. It makes the goalkeeper pretty much comfortable dealing with it. But it's Bechem who turn defense into attack. It's Okra for Yorson. The two attackers combining really well. Yorson steps up for Okra. Okra tries to find Ano. Ano is right in the box, but he's unable to control first time. It is Yawano for Bechem United. Sends a cross. Cleared away by Owusu-Boakye. Here is Ewula to Aiden Kofi Asamoah. Regan finds support in goalkeeper Enin. Tompo. Atigba to Okran. Tompo. Jamna. Regan. A free hit to Safer. Foster Jemfi for Bechem. Back to Emmanuel Safer. Looking for the right opening, but not on the same page with Jemfi. Not a good ball from Safer as well.
And you know, some of those final balls from Bechem United really questionable. So it's a wayward pass or it's a bit of a hit. And this time, again, is a Tugba. I doubt might be able to continue. This is the second time he's gone down in this game.
Discomfort for Bechem United's right back. Atukba. But can we talk about this chap? Atukba. Everything on the right hand side of the Bechem United attack has happened with Atukba as the main architect. He's got to go off sadly due to injury. Coach Kobna Emisa will be forced to make a change, not because he wants to, but because his trusted right back is injured.
Yeah, he's not happy with that sub. There was so much energy from that right-hand side because Wonders just couldn't find the right, answers to the questions being asked by Atukba. He had freedom to move and he defended gallantly as well.
Amponsa is up against Jamna. Amponsa. Sefa trying to keep a close eye on him. Now Desmond Tete. Angele Wula. Edu Jumo switches to Asamoah, but he can't get to it. Throw in.
You talk about the faces of the game, and you would really appreciate the job of the coaches, from time to time. First 15, second 15, and I think entering the third 15, we've moved from the phase where you see both teams playing with a high line and being caught offside numerous times, and now it's been a battle of who has a better midfield, and that's what we're witnessing now. It's been very crowded in midfield, and it looks certain that that's the best conduit for both teams to attack.
Augustine Okra is aiming at Yawano. Yao flicks the ball over Jibril. He's got Jemfi stepping up on the left side, so he finds Jemfi. He waits for Ano again, just on the edge of the box. Ano wants options now. The switch is looking for Okra, headed away by a Champon. And Okra certainly unhappy with that delivery. Now Asamoah will take the heat on Bechem United. He's pushed down by Richard Jamana. It's a free kick. Certainly a bookable offense. It's a yellow card. Flash to Bechem United's Richard Jamana. Asamoah was on his bike.
Yeah, he was. And, that's just some swift move from the winger. As blistering pace from the winger. He knows that's his quality. He knows that's what the advantage he has over the defender.
Bechem United coming up with double substitutions. Samuel Okai goes in for Godfred Yorson. Abdul Razak Al Hassan will go in for Samuel Atugba. Kobne Misa. Two first half substitutions for the visitors. Free kick to 11 Wonders. Desmond Champon, the left back. He's played 26 times for them this season. He bends one in. Chance for Wonders. Cleared by Dramina. Now a throw in for Wonders. It's 40 minutes at the Swedro Stadium. Here is Asamoah. It's Dramina again with that clearance. Now Ewula. Well, 5 minutes before the break, the visitors from Bechem United leading 1-0 here at the Swedro Stadium. Here is Edu Jumo for the home side. Now Jibril. Boateng gives away possession easily to Seifa. Now he finds Okran. Augustin Okra to Emmanuel Seifa. Back to Augustin Okra, the goal scorer. Kofi Tompo. Jumo's clearance. Ewula to Asamoah. Ainin is coming out, and Ainin is first to the ball. But the flag had already gone up from assistant referee Mary Tay. Confirmation of Richard Jamina's yellow card.
Again, yeah, back to playing the highlight again. Let's see, just 2 passes been put together already. How they tried to break that defense of Bechem United. You'd say, yeah, credit to Bechem United, they've not conceded, but you talk about premium chances and Wonders. They've had a couple of them. You know, they've come very close, even though they've also had a flag being, raised whenever they've been on the attack.
So Regan has shifted to right back. Abdul Razak takes the central defensive position to partner Efrie, and Jemfi stays on his left back position. Personnel tweak, but no tactical tweak. Too much on it for a Champon as a goal kick.
It's been so easy for them whenever they move through the left-hand side of attack. 11 Wonders, they've had space over there. You could see how Mohamed, has combined with Amponsa on the left-hand side to make those incursions.
Good flick by Ano. First to Jemfi. Disappointing cross by Jemfi.
And that man, not so much content with what he's seen. And, even though they are down, he still expects more from his boys each and every time, they play. And you recall when they even drew 2-2 against Samatex after going 2 down, and it tells you the sort of mentality he's really planted into those boys. And you've heard those arguments that even if he had started the season with this team, perhaps they might have gone down. And sometimes I'm forced to agree with that.
Germanato Regan. He wants to go all by himself. That's some bold move by Regan with a cutback, but nobody for Bechem United as Jibril clears the danger, not under any pressure whatsoever.
Yeah, but he wasn't taking chances as well, but that was a bold move there by Regan, and he's already enjoying his time at the right-hand side of the Bechem defense. And, it's all about the space. He has so much space that it tells you how awful Wonders have been in defense, especially when you see Jemfi, the left full back, you see Bois at Regain or bumping forward to add up something to the attack.
Here is Abdul Razak Larson. Regan with a cross in, headed by Okai, and it's gone out for a goal kick. That was some impressive play by Bechem United en route to finding their second, but Okai just unlucky.
Yeah, and his reaction tells it, but that was a lovely, delightful cross. And again, you're wondering how he missed that. All he had to do was to direct it on target. There was no way he would have saved that.
Fastabashos has taken out his yellow card and has flashed it to the newly introduced Abdul Razak Al Hassan. So yellow card for Al Hassan. 2 minutes of additional time has been indicated by Rayton Kansa Watson, the fourth referee. A champon. Good play by Muna. Chance for 11 Wonders. Impressive, but off target. Desmond a champon. Stepping up for 11 Wonders. The fans are excited to see such a positive move by Wonders.
Yeah, right foot back. You know, just also bumping forward, trying to add up to the numbers, creating overloads there. It was a good hit. Lovely hit, but the exchanges between himself and the attacker, so delightful.
Reagan. 2 innings, so that's confirmation of Abdul Razak Al Hassan's yellow card. He's barely been on the pitch for 10 minutes. He only came off to replace Atugba for Regan to be drifted to the right-hand side. Came on alongside Okain, who just switched on the pass looking for Okra. Flag has stayed down. Okra stays onside. Chance for Bechem United second. Okra, and he makes it 2-0 for Bechem United. His 13th goal of the season, Augustin Okra. He's really having his time in this Ghana Premier League. 2-0 just before the break. Bechem United have doubled their lead here at the Swedro Stadium. 2 goals from one man. As we head into the break, it's 11 Wonders 0, Bechem United 2.
It's the timing, a crucial time to score it. You know, he just does it all alone, but then again, so much space, acres of space. Tries to tee up Okrai, ball gets back to him, he's onside. All he had to do was just to tuck that one out away for the second. We've spoken about the defense of Wonders. It's been shambolic from, you know, the first minute, and these are the games you really need to score a lot. We want to win the top scorers award, but just look at that, so much space, no pressure on him whatsoever. The first ball doesn't go, the second one he says I'll do it myself, and he does it.
Okra's goal settles the scores for the first half here at the Swedro Stadium. Down and out, already relegated. 11 Wonders conceding 2 cheap goals to hand Bechem United the advantage at the break. Augustine Okra would not mind the manner in which these goals came. It's gone on to increase his tally overall to 13 so far this season. It's halftime here at the Swedro Sports Stadium. 11 Wonders 0. Bechem United 2.
Grab your share of 4 million Ghana cedis worth of prizes in the Ongalicious Abin Wahab promo. 20 empty promo sachets and 20 promo wrappers. Abina, I'll be back soon. Martha. Rose. Abina. Wait, so if all of us are here, then who is home taking care of the guests?
Where is everyone?
Sister, we also came to win from the Ongalicious Abin Wahab promo.
Everyone is a winner. All you need is 20 Onga powder promo sachets and 20 Onga tablet promo wrappers. Submit them at any redemption center near you. You receive a scratch card. Your unique code will be sent to the short code and instantly you win. Promo runs from April 15th to July 15th. Terms and conditions apply. This advert is FDA approved.
Malaria Mini mebusian dear, Katef na to malaria say. Katef you want a syrup and any tablets.
Shusha Mojam Guru say when your malaria more way the answer one medroy.
The say the pomodena ba malaria Janet.
Katef, yeah, that was slow.
Katef, apomodia, a mass setnapa. When so free GB farmer.
And my time, our mom menu for. Any a pem for dear, as I say, will be someone doctor and son one medray. Bon homodia so by a malaria test and son one medray. And young man call our mom brobusominsia. Someone on the Namienu, no one to our come doctor.
FDA Aji Ejade and Cratui Atom.
delicious. What's the secret?
Palmac powdered tomatoes.
This advert is FDA approved.
Flamingo Paint. Superior hiding, superior coverage, superior durability. Flamingo Paint. Simply superior.
Please. Say yo. My cat they use Kojak quality oral care product. Today Kojak charcoal toothpaste. None of most mine. Fanano ma'am.
Hey, Mrs. Aquano. Oh no. I can't miss. Now won't take Kojak P&F toothpaste. Any of my mouthwash no. Ye free hanum say ya kona kope bito. Esan sen ho nye na kra. E bo wo mo se tai fenfen mo se de ye wona.
Ane, emfa won se endi agro kra. Every say e betumi aha wodachi. Ni senti ne de Kojak oral care abedwa so. Ne demo shonko. Kojak charcoal toothpaste, Kojak regular fluoride toothpaste, Kojak P, any Kojak F toothpaste, and then the mouthwash no. To sumrekana kwaje wodie. If we say Kojak niema die, eye quality keke. Upe biato a ubenya bi wo Ranko Pharmacy eye Kojak for retail pharmacy ewo East Legon American House. UBA Bank no nchen hwa. FDA agi edwadie nkratu yi atum.
I heartbeat homeopathic clinic. Ejuma meye oni akoma yarba. Akoma yarba no dos. Ibi wo kwa osende owo cardiomegaly. Anede wako mo waka chendo wo left ventricular hypertrophy. Anem pode owo problem bi nkofo pin wo fa na arrhythmia ni nyinara no ya akoma yarba baby papa oni sendo bi biare ni ho a oze akoma yarba oza aba ha wako gen
utifie eyeden ade na wo tina ho ama akoma yare aka wato dem also utumi sori waka na uko onwuma so fa akoma yare no fa bedan ni ma yanwi akoma yare ne ho emma entine fie emma akoma yare ne nka ho to dem bra heartbeat homeopathic clinic
eba mo boa ododo meso mo boa ododo.
It taking me years to achieve what you see on my farm today. Na mu achinchinche bi wa asase so. Ti se esre nchenchema abreche boje se eni de keka ho nyina. E madamfo bi o won kanfo govern plus we decide mami na eye duro tatahwe. Hey, esisi asase no ma asase no ye akono na bibia beduo aso bia so eye fe. Hwemabrofu e on say dey aye from essence govern plus eye eduro tatahwe ntin. Aya me kanfoma me namfo akuafo nyina govern plus ye mo ayiko Paula wa mantem usinya di kanfo.
Get Govern Plus, available in all agrochemical shops nationwide, or call Rainbow. Rainbow, all about growing. This advert is approved by the EPA.
No buy me more spices, baby. No, so one pemudia. Me do what it's at. And me go hunya open. And then I open here. It's natural spices. It's natural spices. I do mama and my Adriane ed. I feel a party and sano akasano. A bit is garlic. Akikadro, rosemary, printia, and a nutmeg, and a face so pepper, and a modia fryer. And chininim, a citrinim, MSGnim, 80 way dear, a natural ankasa. Free mom in sakat, it's a natural spices. Me who and yamunya dianipio. Ma one name more to a free say, your garlic and ginger, jollof rice, stew, curry powder, and a chicken and beef seasoning. 6 natural spices. Natural FDA, I should want you to muse a year.
By the assistant coach of Bechem United, Seto Sawa. Coach, first 45 minutes, you are 2 goals to the good, but it looks like that early goal really settled nerves for you.
Yes, we are finding it very difficult to put some passes together. But once we are in 2 goals lead, we make sure we come back in the second half and add 2 more before the game closes.
Of course, and if you're talking about the 2 goals, one name pops up, Augustine Okra, coming up with the goals again, scoring his 12th goal of the season. He is proven to be, that genius for your team.
Yes, for him, he's always score. When you give him chance, he can bang in 2 or 3 goals. So I want him to get 1 or 2 goals to add up his goal tally.
Now you are halfway there, just 45 minutes separating you from getting the 3 point. What should you do, or what would the team have to do in the second half to ensure you clinch all 3 points?
Well, we make sure we talk to them so that they will add more intensity so that we can get the maximum 3 points, because we need the points more than they do.
All right, so we heard the assistant coach of Bechem United, Osei, talking about the fact that yes, that first goal really calmed the nerves of the team. It's halftime, 2 goals to the good. The advantage lies with the visitors, Bechem United, and the good news is that Augustine Okra is now the leading goal scorer, at least momentarily, until all the matches are cleared for match week 31. He's got his 13th goal. My guests are still with me in the studio. I've got Felix Romark here. I've got Coach Eben also here. Gentlemen, first 45 minutes, what did we see? What didn't we see?
Well, I predicted a 2 goal.
I think both of you got their predictions kind of spot on. I mean, one name that was clear was Augustine Okra.
And I don't think he really has done a lot in terms of
that much.
But credit to Bechem United. They've taken advantage of the opportunity that came their way. I must say, I think that 11 Wonders haven't played badly. They find themselves in very good position. Have been quite impressed with Wula and Ponsan. I don't know why they are not trying to use the wings as much as possible, because that is where they are threats. And they always try as much as possible to even go beyond or behind the back four of Bechem United. And that is the reason why they considered about 6 offsides in the opening 45 minutes. But defensively, they've been very, very poor. I think the 2 goals that they conceded were goals that should have been avoided. But in moments like this, you are where you are on the league log because defensively they've been very, very bad, and teams have punished them for that. And for an experienced player like Augustine Okra, if you give him that opportunity, he would punish you. That's exactly what he's done in the opening 45 minutes of the game.
Coach?
Well, I think that Okra has not played so well in these first 45 minutes, but he found himself at the right position at the right time to punish 11 Wonders. In as much I admit that the pitch is not in good shape, I think that both teams are struggling to have 2, 3, 4 practice on the pitch. But I think that Kofi Asamoah, the GC number 12 of 11 Wonders, has been brilliant on the left side of attack. His runs, his breakthroughs, and of course Ewula has also done very well. But the decision making, the final decision making from both players really have caused them not to be able to put the ball at the back of the net. But I think that in Medford, Sefa has done very well. Emmanuel Sefa has done very well. Very smallish. He has seen more of the ball. Tompo has not seen much of the balls, but he's been very effective within the Medford of Bechem United. And at the same time, Augustine Okra will be scanning. I've told you, but when you see him scanning, he moves into the right place at the right time. And I think that he's good to go. 2 goals leading the Ghana Premier League. For me, I think that he can even score more if he should stay onto the pitch to the 90 minutes. He should even score more.
And I think if Yano and Co had also been a little bit, sharper up ahead, because they've been fed with a couple of crosses here and there.
They are running all right, but I see the problem being the pitch. Because there are some of the passes that goes and their control makes it very difficult for them to touch the ball. I mean, the first goal scored by Okra, you may think that it's a luck. It's not luck. He used his left leg just to tap the ball. It's intelligence. You just watch it. It's intelligence. He just tapped the ball.
Just a simple tap.
Yes, it's a simple tap. And for me, it comes out from a very experienced player and a very good player. And for me, decision making in the penalty area is very decisive. Watch where he was. You see, and for me, I think that has done the trick for Bechem United. They were finding it difficult to put passes together. But after scoring the 2 goals, now they will be relaxed to let 11 Wonders play, run, and then they will still take advantage of those spaces.
Definitely and clearly, they will be creating a lot more chances in the second half. I agree with Felix when he says that, yes, the 11 Wonders team hasn't fared badly. You know, they've been in the right places at the right time. They've created a few opportunities. The efforts have gone into it. The finishing has obviously not been the best of what one would expect. And that's what I was talking about earlier on. The supplies have come through, but the finishing has not been the best in terms of getting the goals. But obviously, they should also give us a grim insight into what kind of game we expect Bechem United to come through with in the second 45 minutes. Again, a simple tap, right place, right time, finds the back of the net. No pressure at all for Bechem United.
I think in the dressing room, what the coach will be telling them that, guys, you don't need to relax. Kobinamisa and Seth, why I would tell them, this same 11 Wonders team were trailing, you know, Samates by 2-0. They came back, fought, and then equalized and got a point in that game. So guys, don't take your legs off the paddle, come into the second half and continue from where you left off. And that is the mentality that I'm sure they will pick and come into the second half, because they don't need to. 11 Wonders have created chances. It is just that their final decision, especially from Ewula and then Asamoah, their final decision has been very, very awful. In fact, they've even gotten some corner kicks as well and set pieces as well. Any team can punish you from those set pieces. So Bechem United needs to be very, very careful not to relax, because they have a 2-0 lead against the relegated 11 Wonders.
And I think one of the few things they should also guard against is complacency.
Of course.
Because you may have scored 2 goals, but history tells us that you can always come back from the 2 goals. But again, it is only when you take your eye off the ball and the complacency sets in. And coach, does this also mean that the strategy adopted by Bechem in the first half, that is keeping Augustine in the scanning mode, will we see the continuation of that in the second half now that
I wish they continue, because he is one player you cannot leave him alone. He's one player you cannot leave you at least have 2 eyes on him. If he's off the pitch, then you are giving the opponent the opportunity to close in the midfield and also close in the attack. So once he's in, whether he's with the ball, tackling or not tackling without the ball, he's very useful for you, because it puts pressure on your opponent. If you pull him out, then probably you have considered that, look, the game is over. You need to manage how the midfield will go. Since 11 Wonders are creating chances, especially using your right side of defense as their weakest and positive links, you need to address that area and make sure that you place somebody on Kofi Asamoah, because he's been the one who has been running through the runs. Their captain Boateng's name is not on the team sheet, but he's playing. He's in midfield. He's just calm today, but he's the one releasing the balls for Ewula and of course Kofi Asamoah. So you need to play somebody on him, stop him from sending that balls to those players up front, so that your team will relax and play their normal game. Other than that, they may miss one of those offside traps and then probably punish you with the goal that I thought they were going to score.
Okay. I don't think that the defense of Bechem has been put under severe
inexperience of the 2 players that I've mentioned. They've taken them on, but the final delivery has always been poor. And the decision making, the awareness of these 2 players has also been poor. So I think that has made the defense line of Bechem relaxed, because they are not under any pressure, in as much that 11 Wonders has created some openings, but they are not under pressure. They need to communicate. Other than that, they'll be punished.
I was a bit sorry. I was a bit surprised to see those early changes, because I thought Samuel Etuba was doing some quite impressive runs, moving from defense into initial attack for Bechem. But I don't know what informed the decision of the coach to make those early substitution by bringing in Samuel Okan, who within the space of 9-8 minutes even got booked in the game. Maybe he wants to start the second half as quickly as possible, not to waste time before trying to make some substitution. But I think the momentum is with Bechem United, and hopefully they continue from there.
I see. Okay. Well, we'll be joining the feed shortly. But gentlemen, let me pick your thoughts on this. I mean, I may be the latest stranger in Moscow, but referees have their names behind their shirts.
Some of them do have.
This is my first time in the Ghana Premier League seeing this.
I've seen our top referee, Daniel Nilae.
The question is if
there's no consistency.
If they should have their names at the back of their shirts, it should be consistent.
That's what I'm saying.
Because in terms of a team, if teams do not have their names on their shirts, what do you call it?
All right, that discussion will continue for another day. Let's head back to Swedro and join the second half. We'll join you again at full time.
Bechem were clearly the dominant and the better of the two sides in the first half. 11 Wonders creating so much spaces behind for Bechem United to exploit. You're thinking, are they going to have a different approach in the second half, Josiah?
Yeah, perhaps they would want to take the game to the opponents. But if you're Kobne Ebisa, you would only ask for more from your boys. 2-0 after the first half, and certainly there could be still a lot more to score in this game, especially for Bechem United. Wonders themselves, they've not been bad, but looking at their state and nothing at stake for them in this game. They've not really shown that quality you'd want to see, but they could also maybe at least get a goal with how they've attacked so far in the game.
Emmanuel Seifa, well stopped by Jibril. Kenneth Owusu to goalkeeper Hadi Ajay. Edu Jumo. Desmond Champon. One of the brightest spots for Wonders in the first half. He puts one through for Ralph Muna. He's got so much space in front of him. Here is Muna, tracked by Alas, and Muna unable to score. Misses the ball by a whisker. That was a glorious opportunity missed by Ralph Muna. How could he have missed that one, Muna?
Yeah, that's a $1 million question. How did he miss from there, from close range? Does all the job. And for the first time in the second half, they just breached that Bechem United defense with so much ease. The defense was expecting the flag to go up, but it just stayed down. And just look at that. Managed to put his body in between the defender and the ball, and just had to do it the easy way, Muna. He had to do was to slot it past the goalkeeper. A big chance got begging.
Ewula misses out against Germany. Kofi Tompo. Augustin Okra loses out to Edu Jumo. Now, a Champon gives the ball away. Indecision on the part of Desmond Champon. 11 Wonders trying to step up their game, but short ideas when it matters most. Here is Okine. Seifa to Okra. He's got Edu Jumo to beat. Augustin Okra. He's used Kofi Tompo on the right. Tompo sends across. Yeah, Ano heads it and is missed from close range. Big chance missed by Yawano to make it 3 for Bechem United.
You feel it could rain goals in this one another way. You could feel it. Already we've seen Muna miss a glorious chance, but this one also equally is a big chance that Yawano should be doing better from that close range. No, it was a good ball right onto where he wanted it. And no questions about that delivery, but then everything wrong with a finishing from Yawano.
Could have been 3 for Bechem United, and it could have been 4 for Arnaud this season. He has been one of their best players. Yawano, 20 games, 3 goals, and is making his 33rd appearance since joining Bechem United this afternoon.
Yeah, he's been exceptional. That's what he brings to the table for Bechem United. Each and every season, you expect him, you count on him, to be at his best, to help the club, and that's what he's done this season.
Augustin Okra to take the free kick. He swings one and is straight to Hadi Ajay. A Champon tries to find Asamoah, but the flag has gone up. Assistant referee Alex Osam had the flag up long ago.
Yeah, it seems we're back to playing the offside game again. Something we saw quite often in the first half, and already we've seen it a couple of times already in the second half. Just 4 minutes or 5 minutes into the second half, and you can see that pacey attackers of Wonders trying to exploit the spaces. And what Bechem didn't change how they're playing. The highlight will still be there. It's an attacking setup certainly, so they would want to push forward, and try and get more goals.
Jemfi goes past Jibril. He's got Okine. He picks out Okine. Lovely back heel from Okine. Here is Jemfi. Oh, on his weaker right foot, he's missed, but you give credit to Hardy for that save. Now Kofi Tompo lost to take matters up. Tompo, it goes just over the bar for a goal kick.
Yeah, I would be surprised if we don't see any more goals in this game. It's already looking end-to-end, here, but that was a brilliant save by Hardy. Just went down, spatted the shot, and that's by far the best save I've seen in this game, so far. And Hardy now keeping wonders in the game.
Again, Alex Osam's flag has gone up for offside against Desmond Champon. Augustin Okra onto the path of Okai. He's got Kenneth Boachi to beat. Augustin Okra swings in across, cleared by Jibril. Now Captain Boateng finds Amponsan. Angel Ewula. Ralph Muna up against Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Muna, lovely play from Muna. He's already missed a glorious chance and will want to make amends. Here is Muna. Still hangs on, swings in across. Nobody's connecting for Wonders. A Champon steps up. Here is the left back. A Champon beaten to it by Tompo. Okra will take over for Bechem United. Okai. There was a foul at the blind side of the referee. And not caught late by Jibril. Referee didn't see Ano going down from that challenge by Jibril.
Oh, he did it.
Former Manchester City player Aminu Mohammed warming up for Bechem United. One who never lived to realize his full potential in Europe. Had to come back home to relaunch his career, but it's not been an easy ride for Aminu. In the meantime, there's a foul in favor of Wonders. Lovely run by Asamoah, brought down by Regan. Free kick Wonders. Regan will get the yellow. Yes, he does. Gets into the book of referee Foster Bashos.
There's a third yellow card for them. Alasan already on the yellow card. Puat Regan now playing as the makeshift right back, also with the yellow card. And it's all due to, the swiftness of the attackers and Ponsa, and then also Eden Kofi Asamoah. They've really caused so much problems to the laterals and then also the centre backs of Bechem United.
Amponsan has got 3 goals in 22 games. He scored against Vishen Hohoi and also scored in that 2-0 win over Dreams. Ewula bends one and it's awful. Disappointing goal kick.
And not the best of deliveries. And yeah, his team is actually questioning, the execution over there. And you're wondering if he was trying to hit that one on target or finding a teammate.
Yawano, teasing cross. No troubling goalkeeper. Hardy Obemfui J. Asamoah has got a Champon on his right side. A Champon sends an early ball in for Stage J. Missed kick ending up as a corner to 11 Wonders.
There's been swift attacks from Wonders. It's one thing they've really done very well in this game, even though they've been second best in every department. At least the fast breaks, have been very, very compelling from them.
Big chance again missed by Wonders. Credit to Emmanuel Enin.
And that's the reason why Coach Emmanuel Edu is fuming on the touchline. He still doesn't get why his team is not on the board this afternoon. They've created some big chances in this game. The first half we saw them. In the second half, right at the beginning of the second half, we saw Muna coming close, to scoring again, and that was another big chance, for the young lad to hit the back of the net. And they're certainly needed for the remainder of the season. You need to score goals. It boosts your confidence, gives you the right, mentality headed into the remaining games as well.
Bechem United before the season started even in the middle of last season, lost a host of top stars, including Emmanuel Arnaud to Nations, Osei 4, who have since moved to Aduana, also to Nations. Seth Kojose moved to Asante Kotoko alongside Francis Aqua and then Aziz Dari. They found it difficult to equally replace these charges. Part of the reasons they are struggling and battling relegation this term, Bechem United.
They've been a selling club. They've always sold their top players. Clinton Dodu, Afisco Kony, Augustin Okra himself. He's been in and out a couple of times, but this time they were just not fortunate, and that relegation scare actually woke them from their slumber, and that was where they began to fight again for their lives.
During their first spell in the Ghanaian Premier League, Bechem United beat 11 Wonders in Bechem, and guess who scored? Prince Edu Kwabna, who currently plays for Victoria Pilsen in the Czech Republic. The Black Star striker was the goal scorer in their very first meeting when Bechem beat Wonders. This season, the first got promoted to the top flight. Jibril Amponsa beaten to it by Jamana. Lovely turn by Seifa. Good skill now. Okain beaten to it by Edu Jumo. He actually played in that first ever meeting between these two sides. He finds Asamoah. He's got space. There was a push behind him, but he's kicked the ball out for a goal kick.
Again, another glorious chance, not being buried there. Enough time and space for Asamoah. Just uses that pace of his. Trying to use it to his advantage again. A bit of a nudge, but I don't think there was enough in it. And no protest at all from Wonders as well.
Asamoah has 5 goals in 28 games. This is his 29th outing, one of the most consistent for 11 Wonders this season. He actually scored all 2 goals in that drawn game against Samatex at this venue. Here he comes, Asamoah. Raouf Muna. Desmond Champon. Emmanuel Boateng wants to shoot on his left foot, blocked by Abdul Razak. Lovely play from Jamina. Calm and collected. Now Emmanuel Seifa. Okra is on the right. He hangs on and finds Okra. Tompo. Tete returns the ball to Hadi Ejay. Okain goes down. Yellow card for Kenneth Owusu-Boakye. Late challenge, clumsy tackle. You won't go unpunished. Good decision for Stabashos.
And you always pay the price for being sloppy there. The pass not really going in well. Okain pounced on it. It was a very good first start to move away from the defender. But then Owusu-Boakye just goes down, clips him. Too many turnovers as well. 11 Wonders.
Boakye has been consistent in defense for Wonders this time alongside Afura Poe and then Edu Jumo. Yellow card to the centre back. Wonders likely to be replaced by DBB United or Tamale City, who are currently preparing for that playoff to see who qualifies from Zone 1 to replace 11 Wonders in the Premier League next season.
It could be interesting.
Okra sets up Jamna. Back to Okra. Swings in across. Nobody's arriving for that connection as a goal kick.
Yeah. Raises that left arm to apologize. We've seen him with some quality deliveries. Both goals, one as a result of sheer luck. The other worked so hard for it. Tell you what, it looks like I've lost count of the number of offsides that has been awarded to both teams in this particular game. It's been quite a lot. And it actually paints a vivid picture of the sort of, system and tactics both coaches deploy today, especially, with Kobna Misa instructing his fullbacks to push forward and also the centre backs to add up to the numbers.
Okay. Okra. Safer. To regain. Now Jamina. To Al Hassan. Jamfi. Yawano. Kofi Tompo. Jamfi. Al Hassan. Comfortable in possession, but Bechem United at this point. The pressing play from Wonders, not enough to pressurize them in giving away possession. Here is Al Hassan. Step up from the bench and is already on a yellow card. But they've given away possession. Here is a chance for Wonders, but the flag goes up again. Interesting call.
The last time we saw Wonders in possession, it was a sloppy play, but this time Bechem United, something unusual, of them this particular game. We've not really seen them give away cheap possession in such a dangerous area.
Here is Augustin Okra. He scored twice already in this game. He finds Safer. Amponsan can't go past Al Hassan. The gangling centre back, long legs, confident on the ball, difficult to go past. Yawano. Sloppy on the part of Ano. Tete. Watson for Wonders. More agency in their play than they were in the first half. Again, the flag is up for offside.
I tell you what, the linesmen actually are having a very tough day today. Looking at the pace, but I think he managed to stay on side a bit, even though it was very, very tight there.
Captain Emmanuel Boateng will make way for Mohamed Issa. Tokso Achu also coming for Amponsan. And Albert Frimpong will have his turn as well here in Swedro for Wonders. Mohamed Jibril's throw in. Mohamed Issa's flick on. Had the final touch off Al Hassan for Wonders throw. After being forced to make 2 substitutions due to injury, this time Emisa would want to tactically do something regarding personnel and tactics. Might just respond to those switches by Edu. Jamna backheader to in. Jibril. Angel. Ewula. Mohamed Issa. Goes down, no foul, fair challenge according to the referee by Tompo. Okra's 2 goals separating Wonders and United after 65 minutes. Frimpong, Ewula, Desmond Tete gives away possession. Apologetic about it. Obviously, he should be doing better with that pass. Achu for Wonders. Mohamed Issa, chance for Asamoah, and Asamoah pulls one back for 11 Wonders. If it was going to be a goal for Wonders, it was always going to come from this chap, Aiden Kofi Asamoah. He's looked for this goal, and he rightly deserves to be on the score sheet. Aiden Kofi Asamoah, 6 goals for him this season.
That was the foul, the protest, but then poor reaction. Poor reaction, and Kofi Asamoah manages to stay on side, but this time he's finding the back of the net. They've come so close, they've worked so hard. Yeah, they've not really been at their best, but you know they deserve this goal. They deserve to be on the board, and it was all that protest for the foul on Jamina. It wasn't given by Foster Bashios. That was a good ball, and it's quick reaction from your subs. That's why sometimes you need the fresh limbs, and you know Issa Mohammed making his presence felt just minutes after coming on.
Confirmation of goal scorer Aiden Kofi Asamoah. He's been the best player for 11 Wonders this afternoon. Kofi Tompo and Sefa out for Roscoe London and Isaiah Nyako, practically like for like by Kobna Emisa.
You're thinking that's the goal, that's just, you'll spark some life.
Another offside. It's been a permanent feature across the entire 67 minutes we've had so far here in Swedro. The flag going up.
It's nothing new now then. As the fans really enjoying it now.
Okra would want to respond after Wonders put a goal back to halve the deficit. Roscoe London. Jemfi. Tete wins possession for Mohamed Jibril on the right-hand side for Wonders, but what a wayward clearance.
So awkward there.
Awkward.
By Mohamed Jibril. And again, no press, no pressure.
Here is Roscoe London. Wins a free kick for Bechem United.
You talk about one of the few players on the yellow card, and Angela Wooler has his name in there already in the referee's books, and he looks a bit hyped. No, he's been really hyped up for a normal time. We've not really seen the tricks, the flicks, and the passes from him though, but he's really been efficient in midfield.
Jemfi. Yawano. Now Isaiah Nyako makes it 3-1 for Bechem United. Just when Wonders thought they were coming back into the game, Bechem United have made it 3 here at 70 minutes at the Swedro Stadium.
Yeah, they keep making the work for Wonders a bit more difficult. Again, that's the price you pay for committing moment forward, thinking that he could get the equalizer there, but Isaiah Nyako with a beautiful first touch. But it's all the hard work by Ano from the left-hand side. Just tease up his teammate. It was a good ball. The first touch, and the second one was a shot that goes past Hadi Ajay. No chance for the goalkeeper at all. And no, we spoke about it, that this game has got goals in it, certainly, and I think we are not done. We could have a lot more in this game before the 90th minute.
Samoa. Angel Iwula. Tete. Jibril. Frimpong. Swings in across. Good catch by Enin.
Yeah, they are moving the ball smoothly, using those very, very short, quick passes. Not really been so expansive, but a good hit. For Bechem United, they'll be thinking that we just do not have to concede any more goals in this one.
Enin again reading the situation so well and gets the ball away with the big boot. Samoa with a lovely flick by Roscoe London is out there, cleared by Regan.
You know, despite the fact that they're still trailing by 2 goals, you can still talk about lots of positives from this Wonders team, especially with their energy levels. Yeah, we spoke about their rustiness, their jitteriness in the first half, but I think it's been an improved second half, by Emmanuel Edu's boys, and I think they could certainly get a goal or 2 in this one.
Nothing is working for Wonders.
It doesn't, and Emmanuel Edu's push shot just tells you a whole lot. After 74 minutes in this game, scored 1 through Amponsa, which was a delightful goal, but we've spoken about it so many times that it's not really the 4 remaining games in the Premier League. It's about how they fare in the Division 1, how they can go back to Zone 2 or Zone 1B.
Good tackle, clever defending from Regan. Now Desmond Champon with a cross. Again, it's Enin who arrives first with a fist to get the ball away for a corner.
Good awareness by the goalkeeper Enin as well. He knows he just can collect that the first time of asking, just had to punch that one out.
A Champon's cross. Good clearance by Jemfi. A cut of an hour remaining here at the Swedro Stadium. Bechem United are cruising to a 3-1 victory here as they look to avoid relegation. But Wonders ain't giving up yet, already down and out. Now it's Champon. Swings in across, and grabs family.
I think there's a player down, but again, going a bit expansive. And it is a left foot back. That's for the Champon again with space. Just hits that one across into the box, and you're expecting to see the likes of Achu, the likes of Mohamed Issa attacking it. And the closest to the goalkeeper was actually Eden Kufia Samoa. No, it's been their bane. They flicked so well. You talk about one of the best teams, you know, in proper condition. You talk about player fitness and, you know, everything. I think Wonders, you know, certainly comes into mind whenever you talk about that. But, you know, there again, the mentality, the mental fortitude now has been the problem, especially after, you know, going down and their relegation status confirmed after that defeat against Midyama.
Roscoe London, Isaiah Nyako. Here is Dramina. Okai. Looking for Okra. Edu Jumo. Clever play from the experienced Edu Jumo.
Yeah, he was expecting the run, you know, from the left-hand side. It's something they've done throughout the game. You know, again, but at this point, 77 minutes, and certainly there could be some tired legs in there.
Here is Frimpong looking for Achu. Enin comes out. Achu goes past him with a pass. He still got the ball. And Achu tries to score by himself, and he's missed from that distance. Enin has gone down. Eleven Wonders just want to get something out of this game, but just not lucky with the chances that come in their way.
Not at all, and it was just the wrong decision. Whichever way you choose to look at it, just the wrong decision. He had a teammate asking for it. That was a Ponsa asking for it, and he decides to shoot that one at you. And that frustration, the reaction from Kufia Samoa just tells enough. And, yeah, 3-1 is a lot of goals in this game. Yeah, it's a huge scoreline, but trust me, if both teams hadn't been so wasteful in front of goal, we should be looking at 7-3, 8-4 scoreline, ideally. And maybe XG-wise, you know, it should be up there. Bechem United, they've come close. They've created tons of decent opportunities. Talk about Wonders themselves. Ralph Muna missing a couple of chances. And Ponsa missing a couple before getting his goal. You have the likes of Kufia Samoa as well. So it's not really been a game where you'd say both teams have been so clinical.
And in the Bechem United goalkeeper being treated after that earlier scare. Malam Yaya in the stands, the former Black Stars player, assistant at Bechem United. He also played for Borussia Dortmund, Malam Yaya. He was the teammate of current Midyama coach Ibrahim Tanko during their days at Dortmund in the Bundesliga. But that's the goal scored by Asamoah to have the deficit, only for Bechem to double the lead once again.
It was a good goal, but that was the moment Yano had so much space and no one training. And just look at that. Uses his pace there with so much ease. Boache already on the yellow card, wouldn't commit. And Azanyako, just moments after coming on, just slotted this one past Hadi J.
80 minutes on the clock. Bechem United leading the home side 11 Wonders saying Swedro by 3-1.
Really enjoyed his time, Isaiah Nyako.
Yeah,
really,
he's
really
trying to have an
time.
influence in the game since coming off the bench.
You can see that, you know, confidence. He's just oozing so much confidence after getting his name on the score sheet. And that's what sometimes all these players need, you know, just a goal and everything. Seem to be working again for them.
Nyako delivers, headed down by Jibril. Here is Mohamed Isa. Just runs into a free. Referee whistles, flag had gone up for Isa to be attended to.
Yeah, that should be the right call. It was a foul initially on Mohamed Isa, you know, being bumped into by Free. And that loose ball actually fell to a Wonders player in an offside position, but it was good call by referee Mr. Bashios to, you know, come back and award a free kick to Wonders.
Angel Ewula. He's got Achu in the box, sends one, Enin comes out, punches it away, and it's found Jamina to Isaiah Nyako. Here's Roscoe London. Roscoe London had trials with Brentford in the Premier League last year, but was unsuccessful.
It would have been ironic, though, Roscoe London playing for a London club.
Nyako, Okai. It's up against Tete. That's some good defensive awareness by Tete.
He does well. Keeps his eyes on the ball. Never losing sight of Okai. Some textbook defended there by Tete.
So, Amin Mohammed will come in for Yao Ano. The big question is, will Aminu get to realize the dream of playing in top European football once again? Having been on the books of Manchester United, Manchester City a couple of years ago, he's got to prove himself wrong. Amin Mohammed, he was a teammate of Mohamed Kudus during their days at the Under-17 World Cup in Egypt, in India, under coach Pakwesi Fabian. Was bought with some big money from the West African Football Academy, but he never climbed to that height.
Yeah, and you could call, you know, this move a rebet for him. It could mean a lot, and sometimes, yeah, you need to press the reset button. Or you go back, try to work things out again, and move straight to the top, and that's what perhaps this Bechem United platform could offer him. He's a fine player, very, very good player, has the talent, but sometimes you just do not understand how some of these things work. And just hoping that he could really find his form again.
He was loaned out on 2 occasions by Manchester City to Dordrecht and also Lomel. but failed to capitalize on all these loan deals. As a matter of fact, he was being scouted by Madrid and Bayern before City grabbed him.
He was a wonder kid. He was a kid with the world at his feet at that age, and certainly you had the biggest clubs in Europe or battling it out just to have him. And City nearly landed him, but it's not the ending we were expected.
Not at all. He equally has stints with NAC Breda in the Dutch Eredivisie. Referee whistles, decision goes against 11 Wonders. Goalkeeper Hardy Obinfue J raises questions about referee Foster Bashos' decision, but it will stand now.
It would, but not so clear if that would be an indirect free kick, because it's right in the box. Yeah, it is in the box. It is in the box. And it should be an indirect free kick, but there it is again. Goes down, tips it, and I don't know what the call is for, Joe, because it's the goalkeeper who comes up to tip it.
Not too sure about what necessitated this decision, but Bechem United will take advantage. It is Aminu Mohammed and Isaiah Nyaku behind it. Aminu will fancy this one. Aminu with the killer rises above the goalpost for a goal kick.
Yeah, he would need that touch. He wouldn't score directly from that free kick. That was a good killer. Yeah, but a cute angle would really require a lot to score from there.
Frimpong, good save by Enin. Corner for Wonders.
That was a great hit. Well deserved. An equally great response from the goalkeeper. Does well. Dive to it right hand side. Just applies it. That palm to it.
Enin has stayed down after making that save. He had to stretch fully to get that one away.
And that's his job. It's his job to stretch.
Six corners for Wonders. One for Bechem in this second half has been the story regarding the attacking play of Wonders. Much improved than the first half.
Yeah, it's been a better second half for them, and at least to even get a goal in the second half tells you how hard they worked in the second half. They really did so well.
Corner taken, Enin gets it away. Okay, continues. Aminu to Okra. Bechem United will return to the Nana Fosuji Abo on Wednesday to play Dreams FC on that rescheduled matchday 30 fixture. We're into the final seconds of 90 minutes, and here comes JV. Nobody's connecting from the left back's delivery.
Yeah, okay in there, right in the 6-yard box, waiting for a good ball. Just not what JV gave him.
Bechem United are bossing the game in terms of possession, and they have 60% of total possession, and they lead by 3-1 as we approach 90 minutes. The big question is, can Wonders perform any magic to claw back 2 goals and win this game?
Highly impossible. In a game of football, there's nothing like impossible. Yeah, Hardy nearly making a mess of it, but well, you expect Bechem United to see through this game.
And there will be an interesting contest to look for this Wednesday. It's going to be something like a derby here in Swedro, because the real home side Swedro All Blacks will welcome 11 Wonders who have adopted these grounds, and it's a must-win game for All Blacks as they look forward to staying in the Premier League. They have a tough one against Vision tomorrow, and they will now think about that fixture against Wonders. Here's Augustine Okra. Now Jamina back to Okra. There's a good pass to Aminu. Aminu finding it difficult to go past Ewula. Nyakon. Jalen Fito. Regan. Jamina to Okra. He wants to shoot from that distance, and he does. And Hardy is not troubled by that distant effort from Okra.
Yeah, that would have been some goal, to grab a hat-trick in this game. He's really worked hard. He's been relentless. He's done everything right in attack for Bechem United. That was a very good hit. About 35 yards out.
Nyakon wants to take up the initiative, goes all alone by himself. Amino. Roscoe London finds Okai. Can he get a fourth? It's a brilliant save by AJ.
That was a good save. Super save.
Frimpong swings in across. Flag goes up again for offside.
Oh, it's just some few minutes to the end of the game, and no Wonders just push it a bit, hoping at least they can just get a second in this one. They've really worked hard in offense today. But you give credit to Bechem United for the offside traps. They set throughout the game, nullifying that threatening attacks by Wonders. But a bit tactical in that regards.
Final whistle. Wonders have been beaten by Bechem United. It's over here, and Bechem United have their survival chances back on track. What this wins does for them is that they move to the 9th position of the league log on 40 points, hoping to get the maximum points against Dreams and return to Swedro next weekend in that real survival battle. 11 Wonders winger Aiden Kofi Asamoah bagging the only goal for Wonders, putting up a man of the match performance, but not enough to save his team from losing.
It's done and dusted at the Swedru Stadium, and at the end of 90 minutes, 11 Wonders huffed and puffed, but they could not overrun Bechem United. Bechem United would go back to the Nana Fosu Park 3 points richer, and of course the scoreline clearly indicating that Augustine is still the man to talk about in terms of goal scoring. He leads the pack of the goal scoring chart after putting up a performance here today. Not the best of performances from Augustine Okra. I mean, he's been the regular Augustine Okra. No pace, no flourish, he didn't exert the energy that should go into the game. But of course, it was also obvious that playing against a team that is bottom of the table, there were clear indications that Bechem United were going to go all out into the match. 90 minutes is ended. We're back in the studio. We'll wrap this up as quickly as we can. I still have Felix Romark here. Coach Sefa is also here. And gentlemen, so at the end of it all, I mean, your predictions came through. We saw clear initiation from Bechem United using Augustine as the pivot. He was in the right place at the right time, scored twice, got 1 goal in addition, although they sat back for 11 Wonders to also get a goal back. But would you say that given the performance we saw on the field of play today, maybe it was justification enough?
Well, I believe that if 11 Wonders has taken their chances, especially in the first half,
sure,
the
they missed a couple.
Of course, they could have got at least 2 goals in this game. As I said earlier on, Bechem will win at the 90th minute, but 11 Wonders will get a goal based on how I've seen them play. Sure. Just that I was not much happy about the way the both teams played. I mean, there was no agency in the game, and when they lose possessions, they don't fight for the balls. And I think that Bechem took it as the assistant coach even said during recess that they've scored 2, they will go back and then come back and manage it. For me, I think that Bechem United needed the 3 points and they've gotten it. But when 11 Wonders scored, they put pressure on Bechem to fight to get a 3rd goal, which Isaiah Nyaku, who came from the bench to change Tompo, had that goal. Still, 11 Wonders were in the game, especially the young man who won the MVP, that is Kofi Asamoah. He had a lot of opportunities, but he was also missing the offsides. I mean, I don't know why you are in an offside position. You should be able to draw the lines and see who. I'm about 10 or so. Sure. And I think it's not good for a team who wants to win a game. The Bechem United defense today was not all that good. If 11 Wonders have the awareness on point, I mean, decision making has been good for them. They could have gotten a couple of goals against Bechem United. But at the end of the day, Bechem will be laughing to their points. I mean, I think they've taken the 3 points away. Sure. And that is the most important thing. Congratulations to Bechem United. At least they are a bit relieved based on the position. So they'll be waiting for the rest of the teams to play.
Yes, exactly.
See what happens.
Felix, 40 points. So far, so good. Bechem would say could have been better, but hey, this is what they have now. And like Coach also wrapped up, we'll have to wait for the other 40-point campaigners to also see how they fare over the weekend.
Yeah, I think the magic number to survive is within 43, 44, 45. Okay. If you have that 44, 45, you are guaranteed, of surviving. But it's also important that the head-to-head becomes very crucial because there's been teams that have had the 40 points, but then a goal head-to-head didn't favor them. So should they get 6 points from their remaining 4 games, they should be able to survive. But I was very disappointed in the quality of play the second half because a lot of chances were created, especially from Bechem. We saw the one from Yawano, that header. I don't know what he was trying to do. Instead of going with the forehead, he was going with
the up-and-pin score.
Yeah, and then we saw an awful free kick also from Mohamed Amin. And then even Okra could have gotten a hat-trick in this game, trying to chip the goalkeeper. And then there was also a couple of chances, good save from the goalkeeper and post for Bechem as well. So I wasn't really impressed because there were a lot of chances created in the second half, and I felt that we should have seen more than 2 goals in the second half. But this was a very good well goal from the flanks, and not cutting in Isaiah. And at this particular point, 70th minute, extending the lead for Bechem was very, very crucial. Because if the scoreline was still 1-2 or Bechem was still leading 2-1 into the 80th, 85th minute, there would have been a lot of pressure on them. So it was a very quick response from Bechem thanks to the goal from Isaiah Nyaku, and they deserve the 3 points. Good for their survivor. I'm sure they will go back to Bechem, and hopefully come midweek on Wednesday they get another crucial point against Dreams.
It is important that they do, because it will aid their campaign of surviving the Ghana Premier League. But coach, this also clearly means that all eyes will be on Tako on Sunday.
Of course, another difficult one. Both teams are going to give us a
I
good
know
game.
you love both teams. I want to ask you.
No, I love all the teams.
Who do you think will win?
I love all the teams, but I think that it favors Mediama because
they're playing at home.
Gold Stars has not beaten Mediama at the TNA Park before.
I don't
and
think
in
so.
their last, yes, they've not beaten in their last meeting, especially in the FA Cup. They lost by 3-1. So it tells you that Mediama dominates Gold Stars at home, and if it's anything to go by, then I think Mediama stands a chance of beating BBN Gold Stars. But it's a difficult one, a very difficult one.
But would you say that on paper they are evenly matched in terms of quality?
I mean, looking at what we've seen so far, in terms of quality, I think Mediama has got more quality in depth than BBN Gold Stars, and they both have very good goalkeepers. Look at their defense line. Look at their midfield. I think Mediama is dominating the midfield because they have more of quality midfielders than BBN Gold Stars. In attack, their top scorer is now the second top scorer in the Ghana Premier League. And of course, we talk of Kingsley Brahe and Kevin Obeng. How many goals have they scored? Though combined, they have more goals than any of the teams in the Ghana Premier League. So I believe that it might be 52-48 when you are giving percentage. But I think that they both have a strong team to let us say.
Will the coaches play any advantage?
Of course, they will. How your players, or how you communicate to your players, how your players see you on the touchline. Tanko is a calm guy. He will be on the touchline, and most often he gets up and then give instructions. And because he has been so close to the players, to the team, and how they play, Smith on the other side have also been able to introduce young players in the team who are running. Foster AJ, the Michael Nkua, and the rest. They are doing so well. We are going to witness a very good game. But as I said, Mediama has a little advantage over BBN Gold Stars based on the both records at the TNA Park.
Felix, we'll hear you.
Yeah, I think Mediama will be favourite, and one of the reasons why I think they'll be favourites is the fact that they have individual match winners, especially in midfield. Salim can pop up in around the D or the 18-yard box, give you that. Kevin Nkrumah, Kingsley Brahe, solid. These are match winners all over midfield. You can't say same for BBN Gold Stars, but for me, if I have to pick a candidate for player of the season, there's one player in Mediama who is called Fuzi Taylor. I know he's gone out for.
He's back in town.
But if he's in there,
no, I'm telling you, he's back.
A lot of people talk about Salim, but the work rate of Fuzi Taylor has been key.
But
I
also mentioned Manuel Mante. He's the killer in midfield.
So that tells you.
Gold Stars have got one contour, formerly of Nations FC, and then of course Young Apostles, and he's back
into the. So we are in for a very good.
We are in for a very good.
And I'm very, very happy that for some of us who won't be in Takwa, the game will be live on Max TV. As for Coach, his flight is waiting for him.
Coach is on his way to Takwa as we speak, and so he will be leaving us shortly to catch his flight. But Coach, obviously, before I let you go, I can't let you go without asking this question: how much of an influence? How much of an influence will be the pressure on Tanko playing at home?
Huge. Tanko wants to win the league for the first time in his career.
Okay.
Tanko was with Accra Lions. We all know Accra Lions. He took the job for Mediama, and there's a lot of pressure. At early stages of his time with Mediama, there's a lot of pressure from the fans when it was not going well. But I believe that he has been with the national teams of Cameroon as assistant coach. He's been with the Black Stars as assistant coach. So of course the Black Meteors alone, especially in Egypt, where it came to the difficult point for him to win the game, where his player lost on the penalty spot. So in terms of the mental toughness, he has got it. And he has sent it to his players. Tanko is ready for the game, and I think Smith is also ready for the game.
The two coaches are also ready to talk to us. Let's cross over just a second. Let's cross over to Swedru and hear from the two coaches, and then we'll be back in the studio to wrap up.
Coach, another defeat on the road, but this is a game where you created lots of chances but were unable to finish. Do you think that the inexperience of your team or the boys is the reason why you've gone down this season?
Yeah, seriously, it's very difficult for me to, I don't even know what to say, because like you just said, look at how many chances we created. If we have taken our chances, do you think the result it should have been otherwise? So I don't know. Now
you considered a very, very early goal. Do you think not warming up contributed to that?
Exactly so. I would say the first 2 goals was a result of we having enough time to warm up. We did not even have time, not enough. I shouldn't have said enough. We didn't have.
Of course.
We didn't warm up. So.
And I mean, there were phases in the game where you could have either, drawn level or even gone up. You created so many chances, possessed the ball very well. So what is really the problem with 11 Wonders?
Seriously, I need someone to tell me because as it stands right now in my position, it's just too much. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know. That's always been like that in most of our games. We create the chances, we are not able to finish, and then
well, you have 4 games to go. How do you approach the last 4 games?
No, like I've always said, it's a competition, and once we are not done, we will continue working, until because this is not the end of our football career. So why would you understand me? Yes, it's a preparation for another chapter. Yeah. So that's exactly what we are doing now.
Now you have the Swedru fans coming to back you, coming to support you. Next Wednesday, that is a midweek fixture. You are playing them. What needs to change about your team?
Yeah, egal whether you backing us or once it's a competition, we will need to compete with you. If we beat you, so be it. If you also beat us, okay. So, but we're not going. I don't think there's any room for to compromise. No.
All right, coach. Thanks very much. That is the coach of 11 Wonders, Emmanuel Adai, there talking about the fact that he doesn't really know what the problem is with the team. They have lost again here, this time to Bechem United, who were actually chasing the points. It's a big one for Bechem United because of their position where they are involved in the relegation dogfight. The likes of Young Apostles, Swedru All Blacks, all fighting to dig themselves out of the danger. I've been joined by Kobna Emisa. Coach, first of all, congratulations to you for winning this one. That early goal, what magic did it do for you?
I was very happy when we scored the early goal. Sometimes early goal can unsettle the opponent, and so I was very happy about that goal.
Of course. Now, just before the halftime whistle, you got the second goal. Was that the sucker point? Was that the goal that actually, did it for you?
Yeah, that's correct. But you see, sometimes players make coaches very hungry. Though you score, but you are not doing what actually as a footballer you're supposed to do. If you are winning 2-0, you have to be courageous to keep the ball for yourself. But you don't play the ball anyhow, and then they came back strongly and they nearly equalized the game.
How important is this 3 points for you? Because your next 2 weeks you'll be playing Swedru All Blacks here, who are also in the relegation zone.
Yeah, this points is very, very important to us. And luckily for us we have won and we have got the point very well. But the problem is that we are still battling. It's not over until it's all over. And I would say I'm not all that impressed, especially in the first half. In the second half we played well, and that's what we are supposed to do in the first half. So what I can say to my players is that we have to back up, because still it's not yet over. We are still fighting for to make sure our home match next Wednesday will win, so that we will be comfortable in the league. For now, still people are going to play tomorrow. We don't know the outcome, so we are here to jubilate about this particular win.
Well, wish you all the best in your subsequent games. Kobina Emisa, head coach of Bechem United, they have won here by 3-1. Big result for them as far as the relegation fight is concerned. I've been joined by the most valuable player. It doesn't really often happen when a team loses and a player is voted the MVP. But Kofi Asamoah has joined me here. Kofi, and that game, no, my boy, but went to man share problem. Nanka say free.
Oh. First of all, Madam Amiasi. BBA said Amiasi. The problem near final third. A drew boss anymore. How I bet you go no. A problem my. And then see I say you're working on.
Yeah.
Now you to utilize your goals.
But Uji say Kamu teach man and I'm a game saka. Mubeti survive.
Oh true. And your fans in now. I want to boy and to survive relegation. But you see the idea.
Say aka 4 matches now mobile season area more players na the team na kasa relegation mabu players na the motivation and mamo performance say
see our team ne ko by players ne enkoy the betimi any say nso ye be bona teams na hu ye na nso next season no more reaction wo Premier League nim
Kofi Edase Kofi Asamoah, most valuable player in today's game there, even though he's
all right, so we're back in the studios, nearly caught off guard there, but anyway. The two coaches have explained exactly what it is, and we'll only have to take their word for it. But it only gets keener as we go forward. Next Wednesday, we have another round of matches. Of the